What's up, pups? How's everybody doing tonight? Good to be back. What's up, Salty Dog? What's up, Mr. Gleason? How you doing? What's up, Josh T? What's happening? Yeah. What's up, BP? Same as I've always felt. Nothing's changed. What's up, VV? Tam, great to see you. Thank you so much. Ovidian, what's happening? What's up? Good evening. What's different? What's up? Sunlight, nice to meet you. What's up, Van? What's up, Moonmud? Everybody smash the like button. Deerslayer, great to see you, man. I'm glad I got to start a stream a little bit later tonight so I could have you join us. What's up, PulseChain MP? What's up, Kryptonite? Yo, really? Your favorite? Like your absolute favorite? Your favorite? Bullish is good, man. Good stuff. What's up, Salty Dog? What's up, Techno Babble? Yeah. Kryptonite. Scott Cutting. What's up, Salty? Crypto RT. Mr. JM. Frenet Kimono. Yeah, that was a classic, man. Those times are gone. They are not coming back. Target looks nothing like that. Crypto Princess, good to see you. How are you? I hope you can hang out tonight. I put a link in the chat, so if you have some time, you want to jump on. What's up, KD? What's up, Hex Amigo? Goated plays, 2 more weeks, you know it. Let's see what we got next here. You got it. Good to see you, of course. Good to see you. ZX6R, what's going on? And Balta, what's up? Yeah, what's up, TD? DJ Pollywood, been a second. What's up, KD? Alpha Hover, how you doing? Bud P, good to see you. What do we got? We got almost 140 subscribers. Everybody smash the like button. I'm assuming everybody's subscribed. I think everything's working good so far. Hypnotic music enters. Yeah. You guys are amazing. Usti, what's up? Jim Cork, Retro Neon, Vlad, Hennessy, what's going on? Tom Rudders. Friday night, what's up, Jesse? Crypto Ewok, what's happening? Pulse DJan. Oh, we got a lot of stuff tonight. Tonight's gonna be interesting. Where'd you guys go? Really appreciate that, Danny boy. William Dugan, what's up, man? Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah. I really enjoyed those likes that came in. They came in like all at one time. They were like, bam. It was awesome. Yeah, some interesting stuff going on. What is gonna happen? What do you say, Friday? Where's the girls at? I don't know. Girls probably have they have dates tonight. It's only us that are staying in, ignoring the world. I haven't been going out at all. Is the low in yet? Let's go find out. We don't know yet. But we're looking good. We're looking bullish. We are bullish right now, so you guys are right about that. What should we do? Let's go to some news, man. Let's see what's going on. Low is almost in. I'm gonna drop the link back in there again. The link is in there. You guys jump on in if you want. I'll give you guys a second while I find some music for the evening here. That's not what I want. Let's come over here. You hate crypto? Malik, why you hate crypto? But I love it. You hate it, but you love it. Oh, this one looks good. What's this? It's a little strong. You follow that Katie the dev mentioned today? You follow what Katie the dev? No, what did they mention today? I don't know if I followed them. What is she a dev of? What is she deving? Who dat? Who's in the house? Hello, hello. You're live. Can you hear me? XUSD team. Okay, I don't know who that is. Her and Surf. I don't know who they are. You got a link? Or you want to tell us? You just want to tell us what they said? Dan, what's happening, brother? You are in the green room. Are you there? Thank you, Crypto Princess. Great to see you. You have a good one. Dan, I'll give you a second, all right? I'm going to go ahead and get started here. Who's that? Georgie, what's happening? Good to see you. Admin, can you hear me? You are live. We got a couple of people here in the green room, but I'm having trouble getting them in. You're live. Can you hear me? That was... you gotta mute the video that's playing right now, or be on headphones, I think, because you're getting a little bit of feedback. I think that, yeah, maybe that was admin. Who's in the green room right now? Hello? All right, they're struggling over there. We'll let them struggle. We don't know what they're up to. We don't know what they're doing over there. Whoever you are in the green room. I'm gonna leave you in there. Just let me know when you got to work in or whatever what you got going on there, buddy. Let's get started. Let's go look at some news, huh? Oh man, what a day, guys! This is funny. This is funny.
Park, and it actually. FedEx guy was delivering a package. He forgot to put his truck in park, and it actually rolled back and hit their car and their house.
What?
And when the homeowner came out to see what happened, she was not happy. But the craziest part of the video is at the end.
Genius.
What the I parked it and then I got out and then it started moving.
No, you were high as fuck while you were working. That's what happened.
Yeah. In my car?
Watch this, watch this.
And while she went back to the house to write down all of his information, he forgot to put the truck in park again, and it rolled away, hitting the neighbor's car.
Look at this. He's just standing there.
Oh my god. What the f is going on here?
FedEx guy was delivering a package. He forgot to...
That's what happens when you get high at work and you're operating a large vehicle. I used to deliver pizzas when I was young. I mean, delivering pizzas, though, is different. What's up, Xander? 7 did a long stream with Karina and Surf about the whole pDAI situation. It was interesting, huh? Well, if you have some points you want to share, you know, or if you have like a timestamp or something, I'm happy to throw it up. Guys, there's this ballerina that was thrown in prison for sending a $50 donation to Ukraine when the war started. She was a Russian citizen and U.S. And they threw her in prison for 12 years.
For American government.
And so what happened was Russia exchanged her for a Russian somebody. And maybe that's why Russia did it. But still, I mean, 12 years for sending a $50 donation.
And I never felt more blessed to be American, and I'm so happy to get home. Thank you. Mr. Trump, I'm so grateful for you to bring me home and for American government. And I never felt more blessed to be American.
So it's cool. Trump has come in and he's kind of like getting these things going. I was stranded in Belarus, and I'm not going to get into that story on this video, but it involved, I think you guys have heard me, it involved Black Ops, CIA, and some, I don't know, some really powerful people between Moscow and Manhattan to get me out of Belarus. And the U.S. government really didn't do anything. It ended up being like all clandestine operations, and they were just completely incompetent and inept and had abandoned everybody. I'm a U.S. citizen, and they just literally were dysfunctional. So it's cool. One thing, Trump's coming in and he's kind of handling foreign relations again. Well, including a war, but they tried to help, wanted to create a, oh, you guys are talking about that? So it's kind of cool to see them getting things done. Now, this is funny. It's all Easter time.
Easter bunny.
Let's see. They tried to help, wanted to fix oracles, but I believe it's too late, and it's risk of government attack on makers. So they don't want their spell names to be part of the potential attack. Malik, I don't know, brother. I had no idea. Belgian Hexagon, hit the like button. I don't even know who those people are. It's nice to see. We appreciate it. Basically, more pDAI drama. Yeah, sounds like it. Oh man! So we see this every holiday, right? It's either in somewhere in America, right? So usually either in Florida or New York, where it'll be like the Easter Bunny, or Christmas, it'll be a Santa Claus getting in a fight. It's fucking great. Where are we at here? Guys, this is amazing. I didn't know you could do this, actually. Watch this.
Here. And I'm going to rub these together. I'm going to turn off the light, and you're going to see something. Check this out.
So the reason why I was sharing that video is because he's shown that when you rub two quartz crystals together, it generates a electrical energy, or piezoelectricity. Your fascia system inside of your body is made up of connective tissue. The fascia system are these collagen fibers that span and web your entire body. Collagen is a crystal. You essentially have almost a gel-like crystal all around webbing your body. And intertwined in this is the lymphatic system. And so did you know you can generate your own piezoelectricity by rubbing on the skin? And this is why most lymphatic drainage techniques require you to stimulate the area. For example, if we're going to work on top of the clavicles, it's really good to do this first and rub the skin. Likewise, you could rub the armpits here like this. And the reason why we're rubbing is because it generates piezoelectricity. And this is Dr. Samuel C. West, the author of The Golden 7+1, which is an amazing book that needs to be read by everybody. And in this book, he talks about how piezoelectricity can move.
Oh, that's why we masturbate. I get it now. I get it. I get what all the stroking is about. I get it. Okay, I figured it out. Thank you, sir. That was awesome. Everybody, rub something tonight. Rub something right now. This is a no pants stream. Pants are absolutely optional. If you want to generate some piezoelectric energy, start rubbing. Rub it away. This is really cool. He says, Pascal's wager 21st century. God may or may not be real, but the other side is so passionate, so committed to worshiping Satan, evil, homosexuality, corrupting children, that even if God wasn't real, believing in him to fend off these demons is preferable. That's awesome. Yeah, the massage parlors. Yeah, dude. That's what's going on. What's up, Briz? Briz, there's a link in the chat if you want to jump in. I haven't seen you in a second. Look at us, D-Gens. Home on Friday night, working, twerking. doing this crypto thing. All right, check this out. This is kind of a trip, man. Declaration of means, bruh. This is just funny. This guy's a trip.
Why do white people make their edibles so strong?
That's a good question.
What are you running from? Why am I tasting colors? I just wanted to go to Target. Now I gotta call somebody to come get me because my car has turned into a spaceship and I don't know how to fly it. I'm not an astronaut. Yo, I'm so high. Why do white...
It's so true, though. Coming from California, like, yo, why? Why do they have to be that fucking strong? But here's the thing. It's good because, you know, you just take a bite. You got to wait 2 hours or whatever, and then you find out. But what happens is you end up munching the whole thing. And I've done it. We've all been there. We've all done it, you know. And then I got to listen to this guy's awesome.
White people make their edibles so strong. What are you running from? Why am I tasting colors?
Why am I tasting colors?
I just wanted to go to Target. Now I gotta call somebody to come get me because my car has turned into a spaceship and I don't know how to fly it. I'm not an astronaut. Yo, I'm so high. Why do white people...
This guy. We've been there. We've all been there. What's up, Fast? How you doing? Link is in the chat. KD edibles. Eddies are good, man. They're good. And who hasn't been there? Been there running errands and they kick in. You ate too many, and there you are. Everybody smash the like button. Super easy. Just hit it. Hit it and quit it. That's it. I'll have to come back to him. Guys, I have so much cool stuff to show you. I don't even know what to show. Oh, this is sick, man. I got to show you guys this one. Before we get into too much work. Oh, I got a movie for you guys. I got a short movie. It's only a few minutes long. You guys want to see it? Let me know. You're supposed to break them up into quarters, eat a little bit. Yeah, that's what I do. Well, that's called being a grown-up. We're grown-ups now. A lot of people don't know. They get edibles. They just, you know, they're yummy. It's hard not to eat the whole thing. The worst is you have to babysit somebody, you know. My girlfriend got one of those ones, you know, in LA at the shop, you know, years ago when they first started selling them, and it was like in like 5 or 6 pieces, like a whole chocolate bar, right? But she ate the whole fucking chocolate bar, and it was like 5 or 6 doses. I had to babysit her for 6 hours. It was intense, very intense. And she woke up fine though. That's the great thing about edibles. I'm here for the colors, guys. This is a really important video. I want to play it for you guys. I think it sums up a lot of things that may or may not be going right or wrong in your life. As a man, I call it how I move, or how a man moves. They call it auras and magnetic fields. This field's your important armor. And sometimes people ask, like, oh, why are you so lucky? You know what I mean? Like, oh, why am I always in the right place at the right time? I tell them because I move right. What it means is, you know, I'm aware of my wake. Just like a boat moves through the water and it leaves a wake behind it. You know what I mean? So when you move through a room, when you move through life, when you move through any space, you're leaving a wake behind you and around you, okay? And it speaks volumes about who you are, all right? And, you know, that vibe, that is your vibe, by the way. That vibe attracts your tribe, right? But this is cool. There's actually science to this.
From disease. Every human body is surrounded by an energy field. These magnetic fields are something you don't pay much attention to, but the truth is that the entire survival of the individual depends on maintaining the integrity of this energy flow. Now, the moment we break the spiritual rules, we damage that magnetic flow. We have to observe the laws of nature, and if we don't, the magnetic field fails. It can be damaged by unbridled living. It can be destroyed by moods, attitudes, fear, complexes, alcohol, drugs, narcotics, all kinds of things. But if this field is damaged, it reacts immediately through the health of the individual. You must never allow yourself to develop attitudes that are incompatible with the integrity that nature has bestowed. Magnetic fields are absolutely honest. There is no way to make them dishonest. And if you respect your integrity, you will be full of energy. immune to infection, disease, and suffering. Watch the full video on our YouTube channel to understand more.
Yo, that's cool. He says right here.
Nature has bestowed. Magnetic fields are absolutely honest. There is no way to make them dishonest. And if you respect your integrity, you will be full of energy. Magnetic fields are absolutely honest. There is no way to make them dishonest.
That's right. When you open up your senses, you can perceive who a person is from this wake around them, from this aura, whatever it is. It's a vibe you get, and you can't lie about your vibe. I can use my words to be dishonest, to try to manipulate, to whatever. But your vibe is what really speaks, what resonates, and it is science. There's math behind this. It's cool. Some truth and a lot of bullshit. No, man, ask ladies. They feel it. The guy's always like, what should I say? Dude, she hears you. Before you speak, she can hear everything about you. That's the thing. Animals can sense it. Animals know this shit, man. Animals feel it. Animals, man. And dogs are very honest. That's why I love dogs, man. They feel it. They know your vibe. When somebody walks in a room, your dog knows. Who has a dog? You guys know what I'm talking about. Your dog feels it. It knows it. It can fucking feel it. I love dogs. Brutally honest. Brutally honest. I'm going to find you guys this other video I want to show you guys. We don't have anything that pressing. Hang on. My mouse just got jammed. Manly P. Hall. Yeah, Manly P. Hall is very cool, man. Very cool. Very, very cool. My dogs are retarded. If your dogs are retarded. Yo, admin, I'm going to go ahead and boot you off, brother. I don't know who you are. Who is that? I don't know who that was. Let me know if somebody was trying to get in here. I'm here for the sexy man. You're waiting. Pick up the most. Horses, yeah, horses can feel it, 100%. That's funny. All right, we gotta get to it. All right, so this is really interesting. So someone has a theory that President Trump and President Xi are friends, which could be really interesting. And the thought behind this is that we know that Trump is managed and controlled, right? We know that. They've already threatened him. They've already scared the living shit out of him, right? I'm sure the next bullet won't miss, so to speak, right? So he knows what's at stake, right? So he's compromised. There's no doubt about it. I don't think any president now can do what they want, but they can if they do it in an interesting way. So the thing is, maybe he might be working with Xi to upend the deep state. Maybe. We don't know. It's a theory, but check this out. It's kind of interesting.
Are you concerned of escalation beyond the trade war with China?
No, I'm not concerned. I think President Xi is a very smart guy, and I think we'll end up making a very good deal for both. But, you know, we've been treated so badly for so many years. Again, we allowed that to happen. We've been treated so badly for so many years. But no, I don't expect that. I think President Xi is one of the very smart people of the world, and I don't think he'd allow that to happen. And we're very powerful. This country is very powerful. Let me tell you, it's far more powerful than people understand. We have weaponry that nobody has any idea what it is, and it is the most powerful weapons in the world that we have. More powerful than anybody, not even close. So nobody's going to do that, but I think that if that's what you're referring to, maybe it's not. But just in terms of basic escalation, which is what you said, no, I think that President Xi is a man who knows exactly what has to be done. He's a very smart man. He loves his country. I know that for a fact. I know him very well. And I think he's going to want to get to a deal. I think that's going to happen. Yes.
Do you have to increase tariffs on China even more before they come to the table or give you a phone call?
I can't imagine it. No, I can't imagine it. I don't think so. I don't think I'll have to do it. I don't think we'll have to do it more. We calculated it very carefully. By the way, when you hear 100, a lot of people charge much more than that. Canada charges much more than that to our farmers, our dairy farmers. Many, many people charge much more than 100 or 125 in this case. But I don't, it's still a significant number. I don't see that.
So it's an interesting take that maybe he's working secretly in some way with Xi, because of course Xi might have the same enemies. They probably want to infiltrate over there too and do what they want to do, right? The Iron Bank is very powerful. What's up, Fast? How's it going, brother? What are you up to? You want to jump in? Let's do it, man. Let's go. What's this one here? Yo. What's happening? How you been, man?
It's been a crazy couple weeks. My streaming computer blew up. I just fixed that the other day.
How'd you blow it up?
It just started sounding like a lawnmower. Like the fan died, and then it was just like literally like you wouldn't have wanted me on the stream, and then it would just overheat in like 3 minutes. So it was not beneficial.
Damn.
Yeah. But these things happen. My computers don't owe me anything. I work them to the bone.
Good to see you, brother. Good to see you.
You too, man.
Want to look. Yeah. So maybe it could be possible that they're working together. It's an interesting theory. Yeah, I could see it. And they might have a common enemy, right? All right. Here we go. Mr. Michael Saylor again, a couple of days ago.
So what do you say to people who say, well, it's a Ponzi scheme, because every time Bitcoin goes up, you issue more equity and debt to buy more Bitcoin. It just keeps going and going and going.
Yeah, just like developers in Manhattan, every time Manhattan real estate goes up in value, they issue more debt to develop more real estate. That's why your buildings are so tall in New York City. It's been going on for 350 years. I would call it an economy.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I think he might be the reason that Bitcoin finally crashes at some point.
Yeah, if he gets liquidated, that could be game over for this season, eh?
Yeah. No, this is absolutely nuts. What he just said is absolutely fucking batshit, fucking nuts, crazy, man. There's absolutely no similarity between a risk tech asset. Well, Bitcoin's amazing. I love Bitcoin. It's awesome. But there's absolutely no similarity between that and a building on Manhattan that you can live in or work in. None at all. He is, yeah. Look, there's a lot of leverage in this market. There still is a lot of leverage in this market. There's no doubt about it. It's kind of cool looking. Saw this.
And is Saylor leveraged?
Yeah, I think there is, man, because he's going against his stock, right? You guys can correct me on that. It's some kind of leverage.
I think I've heard it before.
Everything is leveraged. Pretty cool. Is he a coke fiend? Is he really? Even at his age?
Could be.
Look, it's a tough business.
I haven't heard that before, but you can afford it.
Yeah. Coffee only works up to a certain point, right? I mean, Guys, I got to show you this. This is really cool. Now, I don't know. I think I've looked at a lot of stuff like this before, and I do think there might be some truth to this, but check it out. I mean, come on, man.
Science.
I think that our
I think this is turning into a science show, really.
It's we're educating them. Yeah. We're waking them up. We're gonna wake people up. That's here. Right. I told you guys when things get bearish, we're gonna look at some cool stuff. But I mean, look at this. Yeah, I mean, look, it's uncanny. It's ridiculous. And if you think about how big the size of things were in the past, like I remember being a kid and you'd look at the scale of like, you know, a lizard today versus a lizard from the Jurassic period. And they were on another level. So, of course, trees...
They called those dinosaurs.
They call them dinosaurs, yeah. And trees would have been an equivalent just, you know, at an astronomical scale. You know, and I think there's a lot of truth to that. I think what we are looking at on this planet are remnants of a very ancient past. And you see that in construction, too. You look at extraordinarily ancient buildings, and they are made with astronomical sized blocks. It was an absolutely different time. And I think we're looking at ancient trees. I think we absolutely are all over this planet.
Don't you think that would be easily verifiable?
Well, they're petrified, right? So they're turned to stone, right? But these do not look like they're the cuts, the way they're leveled, the plateaus. If you've ever been to these areas, they are incredible to look at. Like, how did they become flat like that on top, right? We have them all over the Southwest, right?
Yeah, a geologist on. I took geology in university, but that was like 25 years ago.
Yeah, so when a tree, what petrified tree is almost, you know, unidentifiable from regular rock, right?
You can still see the rings and stuff like that quite often. You know, if you find a petrified piece of wood, it has a texture. But like, so what is, you know, add on 10,000 years, and hard to say.
I mean, we're talking about, no. We're talking about hundreds of thousands of years or millions of years. Yeah,
probably.
I think there was an ancient past much older than any of us realize on this planet. I think there was a time when we existed with large trees and large animals. I absolutely, I don't think we just showed up, you know, 20,000 years ago or something like that, and then, you know, whatever, or 10,000 years ago.
What if there's cycles, right? Like, what if we aren't the first humans?
Exactly.
Because there was a previous evolution of humans before us that got ground down to nothing, and we're like the second, third, fourth version.
Yeah, there could be so many iterations of civilization we don't realize, because we also don't realize the power of ice ages and water to literally crush things and destroy them. Like this plant, the surface of this planet could have been recycled over multiple times. But some of this stuff is absolutely uncanny. I mean, yeah, I mean, they're obviously ancient trees. It's irrefutable at this point.
I would put forward that the cycle lasts until AI takes over and kills all the humans, and then it resets and happens again.
Yeah. Like this was an ancient forest at one time. These are old tree stumps. It was beautiful.
Science.
This has been an amazing time, right? Look at this one. It's beautiful, man. I mean, just imagine the size of animals and birds that would have existed during this time period too, right?
Yeah, we would have been lunch for sure.
We would have been lunch, yeah, at certain times. Let's see, what do we got here?
Did you hear they're starting to bring back some animals that are extinct?
Yeah, I saw the dire wolves they brought back.
The dire wolves, yeah.
I don't know if that's the best idea.
I see some flaws in the plan, but you know, saber-toothed tigers, they could do those. You know, anything that's like in the last like 10, 20,000 years or something like that, they could, in theory, get, you know, living tissue, or well, not living, but like, you know, tissue that's fresh enough that they could, you know, blend it with another animal and bring it back.
Yeah, I mean, look at this thing. Look at this tree, okay?
Yeah, it looks like a tree.
And then look at, like, if we look at some of these table mountains, right? It's ridiculous, man. Straight up like a table, like it's been cut. It's quite surreal.
How's that look?
I would definitely like to get a geologist in here. Actually, you know, Stefan Burns, I think he's a geologist, isn't he? He's also a geologist. Look at this.
Yeah, that sounds familiar, actually. I think maybe that was on his resume. I'm sure he could comment on this.
Yeah, definitely love to hear his comment on this. But alas, we'll go. Same hexagon shapes also get verified as giant tendons. Pick one. Don't that actually understand this stuff. Same petrify. Huh? Are you guys fighting in the chat over this stuff? Georgie says history is rigged. Many things never existed and others did, but they're still kept hidden. 100%. 100%. There are graves.
Remember, my pastor in church told my brother that dinosaur bones were a trick placed by the devil to trick us into believing something that wasn't true. I don't subscribe to that, but yeah, that is one of the theories.
No, I don't subscribe to that. I think there were iterations of civilization. You can see it when you cut down through rock. That's how they know, let's say, an asteroid hit, because there's, you cut down low enough, there's this layer all across the world of, you know, like glassified, I don't know what the word is, but glassified stone. That means a blast or something, you know, swept over large swaths of land very quickly. So they can, you know, and it's consistent, you know, from place to place, that there's this also layer of silt or whatever right above that, saying that, you know.
Well, you're in Czech Republic, which is famous for Moldavite, which is a specific form of glass that was formed when like a meteor hit the earth, right? And like that's only available in a specific region, and it's really expensive.
Yeah, they got those shops, Moldavite jewelry shops all over downtown. Yeah, it's gonna be cool, man. So there's an incredible history, and I think humans have been around for way longer than people realize. Anyway, I got a cool couple of videos to show you guys, but do you guys want to watch it now or later? That's the question.
How long is it?
This one's 3 minutes long. Nuclear glass.
Why not?
Where are you guys watching from tonight? Let me see really quick. I'm gonna go grab a drink really quick. Cool, man. We got 363 people watching right now. Everybody smash the like button. But we only got 16 likes. Oh, there we go.
16.
There we go.
What the hell?
Now we're getting up there.
25,000 people watching. We have 16 likes.
Georgie says dinosaurs never existed. Well, what about all the fossils, Georgie? How do you explain all the fossils? I just need to get a little bit of my own brains.
Perhaps Georgie thinks they're just big lizards. I've heard that theory before. But yeah, I'm more of a science guy myself. I'm believing in the dinosaurs. I'm believing in the Ice Age and all those details. And don't tell Wolf, but I really thought those mountains weren't trees. I think they're just rocks.
What? Georgie says they are lizards, but fake.
Nice.
Alex said nature is a fractal, similar patterns across many forms and scales. Academic said nowhere in ancient history were dinosaurs. They are lizards, but fake.
There's a reason for that, because people weren't alive to write the history.
Oh man, what a rabbit hole. What a rabbit hole. I don't know if I would rather deal with that or pDAI.
I'd rather talk dinosaurs. I've talked a lot of pDAI and good die and bad die and pDAI and all the dies, you know. So done with the dies.
What do you mean they're lizards but fake? What are you talking about? Of course they're lizards. I don't know. I don't believe they're lizards. They look like big chickens, most of them.
I think the chickens are the closest living relative of the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Is the current theory.
Yeah.
Like not lizards, like not iguanas, right? Like chickens.
They are lizards, but fake. Oh, man. What are we going to do with you? What are we going to do with you guys?
Somebody went to a lot of work to set up those fake lizards, don't you think? It would have been like a ton of work.
So some people got a lot of time on their hands. Hey, speaking of lizards, let's just play the video. Let's just roll it, okay?
Okay.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I was going to do this as an intro one day, but I know you guys skip the intros.
Everything they teach you in school is a lie. You want the truth? The world is controlled by shadowy elites and shape-shifting lizard people.
Let's talk about reptoids. Be sure to follow these do's and don'ts to avoid a diplomatic incident. Do offer them a cricket, mouse, or vole out of your pocket. Fun fact about voles, a vole ate my father. Don't use loaded phrases like hissy fit or see you later, alligator.
Got it. Be respectful. So when do we talk about the orgies?
Oh, come on.
What? Everyone knows reptoids have orgies.
This is an HR meeting.
Andre, Mike, shut the hell up or I will castrate you.
Ha! Good luck figuring out which one of my tentacles is a dick. Trick question. It's all of them.
I'm deciding this is okay. Oh God, this is an orgy, isn't it? Oh yes,
This is X-rated, by the way. I forgot to tell you.
Give me the gavel. Give me the
I
gavel.
like this show. I've seen the show.
This is it.
I don't remember what it's called.
Oh, hello, HR. Who's ready for some gross misconduct?
I'm sorry, sir, but you tested positive for iguanorrhea.
Motherfucker!
I wasn't done. Iguanorrhea, chlamydia, syphilis, scabies, explosive cloaca disease. Oh yeah, and mushroom herpes.
Wait, what was that last one?
Reagan, you're the life of this party. That's the most natural smile I've ever seen out of Mark Zuckerberg.
So the song Shake It Off was about how I shed my skin every 1,000 years. And the song Bad Blood was about how I drink blood out of my Grammys.
A toast to blood.
Save some blood for Paul Rudd.
I gave you my kidney, and it was delicious.
Reagan, meet my favorite reptoid zentatives, Barb Shrike and Zarthax Griswold Walton of the Reptoid High Council.
Good evening, your lizardness.
Oh, we're not that important. It's not like we control the world.
All rise for the Reptilian anthem.
Let's get down to business. We reptoids have had a great decade. Thanks to propaganda in the media, we have made society more tolerant of our kind, from the Geico gecko to the shape of water. We even got K. Rool in Smash! We did it, everyone! The world temperature is rising. The time is coming, brethren. Soon we shall fulfill the prophecy, overthrow humanity, and become the true rulers of the world!
They say that every year, but they're never gonna do it.
That's it.
Nice.
Yep, there's a little bit of history. That was a documentary, by the way. Georgie says, dinosaur species were genetically engineered by advanced extraterrestrial and interdimensional races, some benevolent, some not. They were brought to Earth or created here as experiments.
Where's the evidence of this, Georgie? How do we know this?
Where's the math, Georgie? We need the math. Yeah, I mean, look, I think that evolution took over at some point, but they could have been brought here. You know, there's that, what is it, Star Wars 3, right? Where they have that that Genesis machine. Remember the Genesis machine? They like fire it to like an empty planet, and then they come back in 100 years, and it's like created life and everything like that. So yeah, I mean,
Star Trek 3, not Star Wars 3.
Star Trek 3. Yeah, Star Trek. Yeah, it's part 3, right? Or something like the Genesis device or whatever.
I think so. Yeah.
Something like that.
This is
and
important information.
it's not a it's not a documentary, but there could have been something like that for sure. Georgie says, during early planetary evolution cycles, often in connection with fallen races and distorted DNA templating. Yeah, I think there have been fallen races on this planet without a doubt. I agree with you with that, absolutely. It's just genetically engineering so many of these animals is surreal. I think they're part of the life process, you know? I don't know. It's interesting. We can do a whole video just on these ideas. But I do believe fallen angels, absolutely, or fallen races, you know, as they are. Core coins making higher low. Yeah, they are. We know you're. What's that? What's up, Susie Q? How you doing? What's up, Briz? Paul Rudd was one of them. Oh, yeah. Pit down. No,
Yeah, that was a caveman thing. They found like a
the Pit Down Man hoax. I don't know what that is.
yeah, it was like a missing link thing. A collection of human and orangutan bones treated to appear ancient were presented as the fossilized remains of a missing link between apes and humans.
Okay.
The hoax was exposed in 1953, but
Right.
presumably since 1912 to 1953, people thought it was real.
I was really into anthropology when I was a kid, and I can't find the link between apes and humans. As far as I'm concerned, there is no link. We didn't evolve from apes. I think there is genetic similarity, but someone has tampered with the human DNA to make us what we are. There's no doubt in my mind about that. And I think that's where the ancients got the idea of, this being a god, or because any being that could do that would have been seen as God. I mean, of course, right? But there's an idea to that somebody had made. The humans you see right now, I think, were sculpted in some ways by some race or, alien technology or spiritual force or whatever you want to call it. There's no doubt about that. And I think they pulled from primates and different things. Huh?
Humans have 60% of their DNA in common with a banana.
With a banana.
With a banana.
Yeah, see that? Yeah. So, they pulled DNA from real living things. And so, of course, we're going to share similarities. But I don't think there was some leap where we moved from monkeys into humans and came out of Africa and all that stuff. I don't buy that bullshit for 1 second. Not at all. Not at all.
Well, where do you place like Neanderthals, Cro-Magnon men, like that? The sort of pre-Homo sapien.
Yeah, I do think there was those because we see their skeletons, but I think there was I think somebody tampered with it to make what we see as humans at some point.
That's the missing link story. Like
is that what they're calling it? Okay, that's the missing link.
Like they're missing the link between like chimpanzees, gorillas, whatever you want to call it, and like Neanderthal men, right? It's like there's I think I can't remember what they're all called, but there's various humanesque caveman type dudes that they don't have any sort of half monkey guy in between where they can prove that evolution, which is why it's a theory, right?
Yeah, exactly, 100%. Wherever that link was, there was some jump that happened, and I think that was interesting. Lucifer and fallen angels, yeah, very, very possible. At least that's what we called it and referred to them, right? They may have been some evil forces, some good forces, some evil forces. But I believe the fallen angel theory from the Bible. I think there's some truth to that. Homo Dogians. That's right. What's up, Steady Pup? Steady, you should jump on the stream. There's no one watching tonight. We have pretty chill Friday night stream. We're on Wolf stream. We came from Africa. That's true. No, I don't believe that at all. Not at all. Human DNA was tampered with. We are the remains of the ancient races. We have more than 12 strands potential. Them fallen angels fucked up with the experiment. Yeah, okay. I believe that. I'm into that one. Genetic manipulation for sure. Oh, yeah. Cool. All right, let's do it. Let's get in there. What do we got? We're going to go look at some charts. Oh, we're going to look at some charts. You guys ready? You guys ready to look at some charts? Everybody smash the like button. Let's see what kind of damage we're looking at. Let's see. I'm going to hurry. I'm going as fast as I can. We're going to see what kind of damage we got going on. Do some damage control. What is going on? All right, pups. My music keeps vanishing today. Yeah. All right. So BTC is bullish, okay?
Nice. Thank God.
Okay. So we came down, we made a low down here of 74. Almost got to my trend line of 73.7. Oh, that was a high, right? Yeah, that's why it was there. Okay. 73, what is it? The old high. We almost touched it. 73.7-ish, yeah. So we got down to 74.5, 74.6-ish. Interesting. And now we're moving up. Now we still are under resistance. Okay, it's really important. We need to really break above 84 and hold there. Really getting out of this range. Now some people say we're already out. Now maybe we are. But I guess I'm just being a little bit safe here. I know we need to close above where we are. So it's like 84-ish. But we're looking good. We are getting hit down a little bit, but it's all right. It's a little bit loud.
Where's the support right now?
You got a lot of support right here at about 82.4. And then if we are breaking this, which you'd have a lot of support at about 83.5-ish, let's say. So we need to break above. We need to close above where we are right now. We need to print a daily above this.
So if it pops over like 85, then it might fly. Does that sound about right?
Above 89 for it to fly.
89.
Yeah, and I'll show you why. Why it has to be be that.
I'm still just learning.
So we're above. Yeah, gotta get above. 50 is above us. Wait, what's that? I'm in the 50, right? 3 and the 21. So we're above the 21. 50 is one right above us here, and that's at 85-ish. But we are dancing above the 21, which is really good. But we can go above that and drop off pretty easily. Okay. Now the reason I said 89 is because see where we broke down over here back in March 7th-ish, beginning of March. We fell out of here, made a new low there of 76, and then we made a high right here of 88.6, 88.7. So and then we had another candle that came up here to 88, or a wick, 88.2, and we got smashed down pretty hard. So we really need to get above right there, and that you do that, and I think we start to get very bullish. Okay, that's right here. We need to get above that. So that's where we really got smacked down pretty bad. Kind of have a purple line kind of in that range. It's like right there. That's where really things start getting nice. But you got more resistance above us, probably about right about 95-ish in that range. There's some different levels in here. You got 93, but maybe 95 and a half, let's say. That's another big area we got to break through. But really, we get above this 89, and I think you're talking business. Full moon coming up, might go higher. Yeah, let's see. Let's go ahead and crank on the moon cycles really quick. Have some fun, because it is coming up here.
There's actual indicators for moon cycles?
There is.
Wow.
So you can see how on the dark ones, we usually make our highs, okay? And we usually take a dumpy poo on the full moons, okay? Now, it's not concrete. It's something to think about, but it's possible we're coming up to make another low here on this full moon. Oh, wait, was she saying full moon might go higher? Oh, George, you're saying we go higher on a full moon? Yeah, it generally, to me, we see full moons on the lows of the chart. And I believe it was true back here as well. You can see the new moons are on the highs, right? Or the no moons. And then the full moons mark usually significant bottoms. You see these bottoms? They're usually on a full moon. So we got one coming up, so maybe that's when the low comes in. Now, I don't know if the low is in or not. We're not going to low till later. If anyone tells you they know for sure, run. There's nobody out there that can tell you for sure, but we're certainly looking good. here's the thing. I think there's an FOMC on the 7th. And it's my birthday on the 8th. And this is a snake year. So snake year, it's supposed to be my year. So maybe that's the 7th. And then my birthday is the day after on the 8th. So maybe our low comes in and times well with the FOMC. Maybe they surprise us with a rate cut, right? Or maybe they surprise us with maybe an announcement that they're going to cut rates coming up or whatever it is. They give us some kind of bullish announcement, right? So that's what I'm thinking. That could be a possibility, but it doesn't mean we can't, we can't move up, and we could absolutely break out of here, come up, start to try to make it, bounce, and then they announce it, and then we go ballistic, right? I don't know. Could be something. Because, they did hint that the Fed might step in and help, right? Goes higher after the full moon. Exactly, yeah. So after the full moon usually signifies a low. So for example, maybe it's going to make another one, or maybe this is it for it. Maybe we do get the low to come in. We go sideways. That could be very possible, right? And then, yeah, you move up into the new moon. So full moons are usually not necessarily good. So for example, you could come down, we bounce up, we come. I don't like that drawing. So we come down, we make this new low, come up, we bounce, we come to this Fed thing, and maybe the Fed announces something. Maybe something happens here. And what it'll probably do that, it'll come down suddenly and then go nuts, right? That's very possible.
What if the Fed times its announcement based on the moon cycle?
You think like they'd have an emergency meeting or something like that?
It's a full moon tomorrow. We need to say something terrible. Maybe how the planning works.
Yeah, nobody even needs to say anything. We're in a bear market right now, okay? And once again, I realized in my Telegram, when people say bear market, a lot of crypto people think that means 4 years. It doesn't mean 4 years. That means you're in a markdown phase of a cycle. And a cycle in trading isn't 4 years. A cycle would be like from a low to a low. So let me turn this off. So we don't have everybody running around saying I'm saying we're in a 4-year bear market. So that would be, for example, from this low to this low. That's a cycle right there, okay? That's a cycle. So, and then you have the bigger cycles, and then you have the full cycle, and then you have the 4-year cycle, right? So when I say we're in a bear market, it means we are, because we're making lower lows and lower highs, and that's a bear market, right? We're trending down, right? So what we're hoping for is that we break this, make a higher high, and move on to make another macro higher high, to continue this macro bull market, right? To get back into a kind of a bullish stance here. But we've been bearish now for a little while, so we don't need much bad to happen. If we don't get a lot of strength come in, we'll just naturally do it. Gold is looking really strong. We'll look at that really quick too. I want to show you guys something.
Doesn't the dollar look like crap right now, though?
The dollar looks like absolute dog shit. Yeah. Well, what's really interesting is this is where, have you ever heard the quote that says markets can stay irrational longer than you can stay solvent?
Yep.
Everything you're seeing right now is the hallmark of end of cycle. So if you look at, for example, let's have a little bit of fun. Chat, how you guys doing? Let's see.
see some of these coincide with the Chinese birth years. 1965 was also Year of the Snake. You look pretty good for somebody born in 1965, Wolf.
I gotta shake it down 1 second there. And you guys know the this one too, right? Let's look at this really quick. Okay, so this is like a kind of from the real estate market. They kind of look at them in these 14 to 18 year cycles, all right? And this is a stock market cycle here. I guess they have this going what? This is a 1929 crash. Look at that. Yeah, look at this. It's really interesting. So I just showed you guys this chart over here, which kind of maps out the recovery phase, mid-dip cycle, explosive phase, recession phase of the 18-year cycle, okay? Give or take, right? A little bit. And if you come over here, this is the S&P since pretty much 1920s, right? And you can see if you start here from the crash, it started in 1929. The crash begun in 29. It took 3 years for the crash to wrap up. That's brutal, okay? And it took 3 years. It crashed from 1929 to 1932. And then it started this uptrend and followed, you know, this is 16 to 18 year cycle, secular bull market. And then it had another bull market here, okay? Where it made absolutely higher highs going in. Okay? And then they have another one. And then they have another one to the 90s. This was like peak America here, by the way, where this one started in 1983, 84-ish. That's what I consider the peak of America. That was like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, Guns N' Roses, right? The 80s, right? The 80s into the 90s was like peak American everything, right? Brad Pitt, Tom Cruise, like, I mean, it was, yeah, what?
My high school years.
Yeah, it was Journey, you know. I mean, big hair. It was America. It was time for America. Communism was about to fall soon. America ruled the world right there. And, right, Knight Rider, all the big shows, whatever.
A lot of pro-American sentiment at that time. Yeah, I remember like every country, like people wanted to be American, right? Like they wanted to go to America. You know, there wasn't, there just wasn't the same kind of pushback on the American dream as there is now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And this cycle ended where? .com, right? So .com. And then we started a new one, right? And it went all the way into the GFC, which is interesting because it was an irregular one. Right, it was in one of these intermediary cycles. And now we've started a new one that started, I suppose, 2009, right? And we can go to, I've been mapping this out. I'll go here really quick. Look, this is holding my thing. Remember how long ago I drew this? Look how close we came, okay? And I can't even read, okay? And I was able to do that. All right. So you can see, I'm counting it from...
You do well for a man with your disabilities.
With my disabilities, right. So this is from 2020. I'm counting from there. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I should go back to 2008. But you can see where that chart ended was here, you know. Yeah, maybe I should look at this closer to think about my counts. No, I guess that makes sense. Could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would be this whole bit, right? From the GFC, 2009 to 2020. So 11 years. Oh, and then what was this? 29 to 2008, 8 years and 11, 19. Oh, that is the cycle. That's a complete cycle, right? Kind of like that's about, you know, it's 18 years, right? So this would have been 19 years from the .com to 2020. So yeah, 19 years, 19, 20 years ish. So that makes sense. And then now we started a new one. So, well, fuck. If this was to go 18 years, there's a lot more. I don't know when this one started if you look at it from that point of view. We have to like, well, I know that this guy's been pretty accurate, regardless of, there's different ways to like aggregate all these counts together. But another thing that's really cool is this Banner Cycle guy, right? He's been on within a year or two, which is amazing because he made this obviously before 1924, right? Or starting around there. So it's 100 years old and it's pretty epic. So 1929 is when this started coming down. The .com was actually, the high was when? Wait, that's not where we at? Here we are, right? Yeah. It was 2000. It was February of 2000. That was the high that we put in. 1556 on the SPX. So if you come over here, he's only off by 1 year right here, right? That was the literally the peak. And then look, 2019, let's just look. When was it?
So there's the .com crash.
The high was put in February of 2020. 1 year after he said the high would come in. So it's off by 1 year at this point. I don't know when he actually created it. So the next one is 2035. So that would possibly mean 2036, right? Or 2037 if it slides a little more. Okay. But what is important for us right now is in between 2019 and 2035, these are going to be your huge ones, okay? 2020 was huge. 2036, or whatever this will end up being, is going to be massive, okay? It's 16 years. Oh, so I guess he is also using 18, 20, 16-year cycles. So, yeah, he's also doing those counts. It varies a little bit, right? So here at 2026 is going to be a peak. So that means it's not 2026, it's what? 2027 is the peak, which is what I've been saying for fuck ever. But the only way to do that is they got to stretch this out somehow. So that's why I said we're going to have some bear market in here somewhere. And the low would have been 2020. Oh, interesting. This would have been 2024 then. If we have to slide everything up a year. What happened in 2024? Well, we know we got these lows here at 2022. We got this one in 23. This is 25. It's like, I mean, I guess it could be off. Maybe this is the low he's talking about because I have the count 4 arranged about here. Right? Like this could be 2024. And then we're about to rip. And that high is actually going to be 2027 or even 2028 possibly. And this is off by a little bit. And it doesn't have to make sense. It just always,
what's going to burst the bubble this time?
Michael Saylor for sure. No, I don't know. I don't know, honestly. It could be World War III, man. It could be a lot of things, right? Because right now we're in a terraform.
Like last time one was coronavirus. You know,
yeah.
Like what's the next big one?
Yeah, it could be any of these things. Because Trump's presidency ends what? He was inaugurated 2025, right? So it's going to be 2029. Is that right? Wow.
24 years, 2029. Yeah, sure.
Crazy, man. Wow. So that means some kind of recession or depression is going to happen on his terms. Who knows how this is actually going to like lay out, you know? Is the high going to be this year? Or it seems when you look at this chart, everything's pushed a little bit. So maybe it is going to be more of a 2027 or 2028. You know what I mean? Everything's a little bit pushed from 1 to 2 years, right? It's really interesting.
When do you think the Bitcoin high is going to be in this cycle?
Well, if we just look at cycles, because we don't know if the cycle's broken yet, right? Then it's something like 550 days from the low, every high, which puts us at about mid-October, okay? That's if everything just plays out in the natural, like it's done, you know, before. So that might be somewhere around there, that pink line. And that gives us plenty of time to squirrely about, you know, we could chop. I don't remember where that FOMC was again, what, right there. So They crash us down, we come up, and we go for something, right? That's 189 right there. That's 190. If we go back into the channel and hit it, that could absolutely happen. That could absolutely happen. And that would be in the fall. And that would be, our low would be the June. Yeah, we could get a low. Now, it doesn't have to. We don't need another low. The low could be in. But I don't know if it's that easy. But maybe, you know, we just have to obey the market, right? If the market says the low's in and we're going up, we're starting it, then come on, man. Let's work with me today. It's Friday. Yeah, then I mean, we'd start breaking up. Then we got to find out, are we going to break the high? Are we going to get rejected again, right? Or are we going to go for it now, right? Start working our way up now. The midline is 130, by the way, which also has a lot of confluence with drawing wicks from back here at the 2021. If I run lines from there to what we have now, you know, that we get some confluence with the midline of this channel and these lines about 130-ish. So that also could be the top, 130. Because if we're going to push up now, which could happen, and then it's like sell in May and go away, kind of same situation.
Yep.
You know, we can come out here and get to the midline, hit about 130. We make a new high, and then maybe it is see you later, bye-bye for like a longer count here before we, you know, go into whatever.
Or we get a second top in October, right?
Yeah, there could be something really interesting brewing. Yeah, like we've done this before. We had a 2.5 month bear. This was 2 months, I believe, where we just were. A lot of people were throwing in the towel. Now, one thing that's interesting when you look back, I'm on the weekly, we stayed above the 50 EMA on the weekly. You see this green line? I'll make it a little brighter. We stayed above it. What's that? Why did I just turn on? Oh, here we are. So look at this green line. So this is the weekly. See how we stayed above it back in 2021? We just kind of broke below it here, which obviously a lot of people were freaked out, right? A lot of people were calling the bull run. But it's only when you broke under here, but you got to retest, you got a place to exit. Now, I remember I sold at 55K on the nose. It was like it was almost exactly 55K. It was when I exited. So that was here. And some people sold the top. Some people sold. I sold a little bit also at 45, I think. I think right here when we hit this thing and we were rejected, I sold a little more. So look what's going on. We are above it still. We are absolutely above it. We didn't get back above it until here. Some people waited to buy at 22.7. I entered at 15.9 is my entry for BTC. Some people entered at one of these, right? Probably the confirmation. You came up, you did this, you got a retest. And you've been riding above it, and we haven't broken it yet. And not only that, but this channel I drew is still, it's still kind of, we have fallen out of it a little bit, but not too far, but we're above the 50 on the weekly. Well, we have.
You think it's possible that like Bitcoin will never see like $50,000 again?
No, I don't think so, because the fair value is like 40 or 43 right now. You do know that, right?
How do you determine fair value?
I think it's something to do a calculation with like the cost to make it and mine it. There is a chart somewhere, I've seen it. It is like between 40 and 43 right now. That's what it is. And we're quite high above it right now. I can show you. Hang on, I have. So. Yeah, who knows what it's going to look like. Now, in some way, we had the high before the halving. So I'm ready for a surprise. I'm ready if the cycle ends earlier than we expect. I mean, hell, we had the high before the halving. Who's to say anything else is going to play out the same as before? But so far, nothing's broke. The cycle is still intact. The bull run is still intact. This is still floating above the 50. You guys see that, right? Clear as day. We broke under it right here on December of 2021, and we got back over it on March of 2023. So we were under it for 2 fucking years. And we're still above it. We're still above it.
What about Ethereum, though? Ethereum feels a little broken to me.
Oh, now you're asking the tough questions. Hang on, let me see if I can find this this thing. And I'm gonna look for this chart really quick. I do want to show you guys this chart. It's cool. It's actually a really good chart. Let me see. Is it right? Is it here? I gotta look at my desktop.
It's a good chart.
Where you guys at? Research indicates that during each cycle, real estate crashes after the completion of the tallest building in the world. Which one's being built right now, Hexamico? Is it something in Dubai? What? Oh, you know what's crazy? The Simpsons predicted the tariff war. Did you guys see that? A Simpsons episode. And they're saying...
they predicted Trump as president, too, so that works.
Let's not forget, a lot of surprises can come. A lot of people are too certain of certain things. And the reason I'm being a little bit more adamant about this, as I wish I was in December, is, you know, I still have that clip I showed you guys on the other video when BTC broke, or ETH broke under 38.50. I was freaking out. I was on stream with Pedro, and a lot of people, it's this trend line right here that I said on stream. It was like December. I was like, you can't break this one, man. And even though it's bullish, you see this on the weekly, I said this is a manipulation and big money's doing something. I have the clip. It's still on my channel. So it broke here, retest, but see you later, bye-bye. And I have the video because I was yelling on stream because everybody else was like, oh, the ETF and BlackRock's buying. And I was like, no, dude, if BlackRock's buying, there's no way in hell this trend line would have broken right here. And we've been bye-bye ever since then. And that's the problem with these markets, is that you have to know what trend lines matter a lot. And any trader would have said, no, you're crazy, St. Wolf. That's a Dragonfly Doji. We're going up. It's bullish. Altcoin season, yay. And I was screaming, no, something's wrong. This isn't right. You can't have this trend line coming out of this, which is very bullish, broken. That means somebody knew something. Because to move ETH that way, that's big money exiting. Big money was doing something. You can't just have a break right there, the way it broke. And then it got rejected on the retest multiple times. And you had a Dragonfly. So, you know, a lot of people that didn't understand manipulation would have told you this was bullish and altcoin season was coming. So all I'm saying is, don't have too much certainty. You don't know. There's a lot of fuckery in these markets, and we still need to get back in this channel. I mean, you know, we still do. There's no doubt about it. But you got the full moon coming. We don't know what surprises they have. But hang on, let me find this chart. Let's see, where is it? Yeah, let me get this on here. So for you guys, 1 second.
We got a black screen.
Oh, good one, black. All right.
I see nothing. No, that's better.
Let's see if I can find it. If I can't find it, it's not a big deal. But yeah, I think the realized price is around 43,000. But I do want to show you guys this because it is pretty cool. Where the fuck is it, man? go.
Back to the black screen.
Back to the back screen. Doesn't like me.
Yeah.
I feel like man. Do you guys know who that is?
Nope.
That's my ex.
Oh, okay.
No.
I believe you.
It's a model. It does look like my ex, though. I feel like that itchiness in my nose like you get when you're about to get a cold, but I swear to God, I just got off being sick. If I get sick again, I fucking...
It probably wouldn't be as bad. You won't get it's the same thing twice.
No, definitely not. Yo, chat. Do you guys have a fair value chart? Psycho. I can show you guys some cool stuff either way. I got like cool price prediction charts and stuff. There's a mayor multiple bands. Oversold is 35 on those right now. Some of this stuff's just nutty, though. I don't trust some of this stuff. Oh, and the pi cycle hasn't crossed either, right? We know that, too. So, the Jeddah Tower, which aims to be the world's tallest building, is currently targeted for completion in 2028. There you go. There you go. That's something. That's something. Okay, well, we'll come back. Come back. I got this. We'll come back. I'll find some stuff. Where are we at? So the banner cycle. So 2026, 2027, or 2028. All right. That's actually going to be the big blow off top. Now, I don't know how it's going to play out between now and then. Maybe we do get some interruption. Maybe there's something, and then, of course, something ends the big cycle as well. But we can't just randomly be pushing up for the next year or two, right? So maybe we get some top between now and the fall, and we come down and we go to that level. Like, I think it's 43-ish is the fair value price, which makes a lot of sense. If you think about a big retest on breaking out of this whole pattern, eventually you'd, I don't know what we do, come down, we hit this, 2020, that's the fall, and then who knows what we do, right? We got some mess, and then pop, we break out, and we go absolutely berserker mode. You know what I'm saying?
That'd be cool.
Yeah, something like that.
I'll take it.
Yeah, and then this will be your big, where at some point between where we are now and the start of this, the Fed is printing money again. Now, the thing I have is I don't think they're going to print it just because we want it, and I don't think they print it as soon as we want it, because they're playing a game right now, and if they start printing, it's not their game isn't going to work out well. You know what I mean? They're not going to get a handle of inflation and be able to sell the debt that they want to sell right now, okay? Because everyone will move into risk assets, crushing treasuries and bonds. You guys understand? So they got to make that stuff competitive, because I don't know if you guys know this, but no one's buying U.S. debt anymore. I'm not trying to make this a big finance show, but that is something important you need to know. And the U.S. is panicked because that's never happened before.
Wasn't China buying the debt before?
They're dumping our debt, bro. Yeah, they used to. Yeah, they're dumping it, okay? Everyone used to buy the U.S. debt, okay? We were used to that. We were used to using our credit cards, and then somebody else would pick up the debt because everyone always believed the U.S. would pay it off. Well, guess what? After 2020 and all that printing, ain't nobody buying it no more. And China been dumping it big time. Okay, so they got to make that stuff competitive first. All right, they need to get people buying that debt first. Okay. okay, before they print, I think. You know what I mean? And I'm not an economist. What do I know, right? Like, I'm not an economist. But I would think that would make a bit of sense to me. Plus, it seems like time-wise, there's a lot more juice time left in this bull run. And I think time matters. Like, cycles and time matter more to me sometimes than even TA. Because I have a feeling that that Fed meeting on the 7th is going to matter a lot. So maybe we're going to chop until we get there. Where's that, the 7th? Where did I put that? Maybe we start our uptrend around there, right? And I was kind of joking, but yeah, my birthday is around the 8th too, and this is my year. It's a snake year, so it makes sense. At least, fingers crossed. Maybe we don't, maybe we can come up, but maybe we really run. Something that happens at this meeting, and we go nuts. It's also possible, true, that we go nuts before the meeting, and something they say in the meeting, like Fast was saying earlier, they say something that the market doesn't like at the meeting, and we come down at the meeting too, right? Like, we don't know. But I do think this. We can,
if they're running the lunar cycles or not.
Yeah. If we go look at BTCD, I think for now, BTC dominance still kind of rules, man.
And that's dominance versus what?
The altcoins and at least to ETH as well, right? But
like versus the top 10 or something?
Yeah. But it is making one of these, which isn't the best looking thing. So eventually, we're going to expect this, right? And that's going to be your bull run, right? Altcoin run and ETH, okay? But there's a lot of fuckery, and, we don't know. Maybe it does break out, just like gold just did, right? We'll go look at that 1 second, okay? This is a ascending wedge pattern, okay? And I remember when we broke out of here, everyone was screaming altcoin season, and I just wasn't convinced yet. We didn't really have confirmation. ETH was giving me problems in December. I was not happy with what ETH was showing me. I was not convinced we were getting altcoin season, okay? So just because this starts to break down doesn't mean you want to, long everything. Well, it doesn't really matter how you draw it, how much of that you want to get in there. It is what it is. But it's certainly still bullish, man. It's certainly still very, very bullish. Bitcoin dominance is very bullish, and shows no signs of slowing down right now. So just because Bitcoin does break out, it's good. It's good for us in general. It stabilizes altcoins, everything, but doesn't mean ETH is going to break out. And we are really connected to ETH. Last couple of videos, I showed you guys all the PulseChain bull runs were all when ETH pumped. Every single one of them without fail. There was not a single major run we had on PulseChain that was not exactly to the day that ETH broke out. Every single one was timed with ETH, right on the dot. All right. So it seems to matter a lot right now where ETH is to us. Now, could that break? Maybe, maybe our market maker's fed up with Ethereum and decides that now's the time to go regardless. Yeah. Because like I said, cycles and time matter more. So if it's time for us to go, it's time. That's it, right? For whatever reason. But see this run right here? It started, that date is August 26th. And this one right here is, I will look at these two, but this really big one, January 7th. Look at this one is September 6th. Let's go back and look at ETH. We need to look at ETH anyway. So this big candle was on beginning of November. Where was this one? Oh, this is January. Was it this one? Where's it at? Oh, this is 24. Wait, where am I at here? Yeah.
Things are looking hot on PulseChain today.
Yeah,
we're
getting some juice. Where's November 24?
That court date's coming up in another 10 days. We'll be at the 21st. I think by the 22nd, we should have a decision from a judge, in theory, on whether the SEC can reapply, or maybe they just drop it by then.
What happened on January 4th? What were we doing? What was the comparison over here?
May could be our month though.
What was the correlation I found here? So this is January, right here, January 8th, and 2024. January, yeah, this is right here. So we were already pumping on ETH. So I guess we do need ETH. We're not necessarily at the top, the front of it, but ETH is pumping when we're pumping. That's for sure. There's definitely that correlation. Wait, what date were you saying for the case? Was it 20th or 21st?
I think the 21st is like the deadline, so maybe on the 22nd we would hear something, if not before.
Yeah, exactly. So that's coming up here in a few weeks. So it's going to be interesting. I mean, the SEC in the last minute, they could introduce some new thing and be like, oh, we want to look at this or something, or
they could drop the case, which seems like the most likely thing, or they could they could resubmit, and then the judge would have to look at it, which would be another delay, and then the judge would have to decide whether to reject it or not.
All right, let's look at ETH really quick here. ETH is at 1567. All right, it's still in a downtrend. There's no doubt about it. All right, it looks like it wants to pump. There's no doubt about it. It wants to keep moving higher, but it's done this before where it comes down, moves higher, and then it makes a lower low, breaks down again. So it definitely wants to move up, keep moving up, but is it gonna break down? We have to see, right? So right now we've broken my main levels, which were 1525, and we got to 14, or what did it wake down to? Damn, it got down to 1392, like 1400. Then my next level is 1350, and I'm hoping we don't break that. Okay, I'm hoping we don't break it. I don't want to go into that if we do. There was something I want to show you guys. Look at gold really quick. Let's look at USDT dominance though really quick. So what's been going on here? So still nothing. We're just still rejected at this trend line that this has come up to multiple times. It's good. It's good. We want to be rejected here, but it's still looking bullish. We got to see what happens. We want it to go down, right? This is USDT dominance. Others has just been breaking down. I mean, to 0.018. I mean, look, we're getting down to this target now. This target of 0.015, 0.0175 is the low of the last bull run ish. Okay, there's a lot of confluence right here, support. Okay, the low is actually 0.0162, and we're heading there. We're getting there, but we're not there yet. Now this is ETH BTC, but it's absolutely in the cards that we could go a little bit lower. And I think I drew this where I was like, look, you get this beautiful W, you get a double bottom with the low from 2019, and then after that, you know what happened in 2019? We went on an epic bull run on Ethereum, and as I was saying before, we don't run until ETH is really running, at least in the past. Doesn't mean it's going to be like that in the future, but obviously when ETH is strong, when ETH is pumping, PulseChain, Hex, it helps us out a lot. Yeah, we're looking good here so far. I want to show you guys something. Let's see XPS really quick. Yeah, so we dump. You guys know that we tariff dumped, we Trump pumped. And we got to see what happens now. I don't know if the lows are in yet. They could be. There's definitely signs of it that they could be, but we don't know. Now, one chart I found recently that I thought was really freaking cool was look at gold really quick. So like gold pumped so fucking hard, man. I was waiting for this to come down just a little bit lower, probably about 29. I was hoping for, or at least touching the 50. Yeah. On the weekly, like it's done before, and it didn't. It just took off. So that's something people usually do when they're flying to safety. So what concerns me is that the SPX is pumping, or we can look at, this pumped, But what concerns me about this pump is that the gold is pumping hard as well. All right. You know, because obviously we want this to happen, right? We want to break out and start moving up again, right? So then we can say that, cool, the lows are in. But why is...
What if gold dumps? What happens to that money?
Oh, it'll probably go into risk assets, probably. Because it's a flight to safety, right?
Yep.
It's a flight to safety.
Gold's a useless metal. People should just sell it, you know?
Yeah, but every once in a while, like obviously if you were holding it between 2020 and 2024, it sucked. But there's times when gold goes on epic runs, right? You can see it in the charts where there's times when it's good to hold gold, right? Like between 2018 and 2020, and then it would have been great in 2020 to switch into Bitcoin or risk assets, right? Right now, gold is on one of those epic runs, and it is pretty overbought. I mean, it's cranked. Everything is cranked on it right now. But the fact that everyone's running to it and not has a little bit of concern. And there's this chart that's a gold silver ratio, which is pretty sick. I've been looking at lately. People usually dump silver when they want safety and they go into gold. And if you go all the way back to, let's say for us, you can see in the great financial crisis, the GFC, you can see this ratio. People were holding gold in gold to silver ratio was absolutely nuts, right? In 2007, 2006, it was down here at 42, and then people started going into gold as you know, people noticed stuff was not right in the markets, and then when the crash happened, you can see how nuts gold went compared to silver. And then as the market started pumping, right, after 2010-ish, people just got rid of gold. They get rid of it and go right into the stock market, right? And you can see we're just ripping like crazy. The market ripped really hard right out of there, right? Now this
what do you think the chances are that gold's going to go down soon, you know, based on it being overbought and, you know, bullish market things?
That's the thing that's interesting. You can see here, once again, it's just a ratio chart, right? But these are usually like big money. These aren't usually, you know, this is pretty hard to move, right? So if this many people right here in 2019 dumped their silver and went into gold, look at this spike, right? All the way to 126, gold, silver, and then they printed money, right? And then everyone just kind of in general came out of metals, right? And went into markets. And now you see another pretty big spike, right? This is right now. That means people are getting rid of their silver and getting back into gold like they've done in the past. And right now we hit our first target right here, which is actually a measured move right out of here. I think it was this head and shoulders right here. Or maybe I was doing a cup and handle, whatever. Point is, there was a measured move and it actually did clock out pretty nice. Now, it could be done. It could be done, which means the bottom's forming right now. Absolutely could be forming right now. But it is something we can watch, because when I go to the daily, I know I see some wicks at the top, but it still looks like it could. Oh, look at that. Look at that. That was just today. Rolling over on the 12-hour. Okay. So maybe this is it. That's what these wicks are telling us. But otherwise, this is a little bullish looking. You know, could be a bull flag, but we do get a lot of wicks on the top here. Definitely a lot of wicks here at the top. We got a curling over here on the MACD. Everything is, you know, pretty cranked on RSI and everything on there. So hopefully that's done.
Bouncing off something.
Yeah. So this is great. I mean, this is something we can keep an eye on. If you see this move up, this probably moves a little bit before, and obviously gold is going hard right now. So that it is interesting right now. That I don't know if I trust the rally right now. I don't know if the bottom's in. That's all I'm saying. I don't know. We can also look at this is total. But one thing I'll say is that if you look at total 3, if you exclude, we're actually looking good. Like nothing's broken. And that's another thing I want to show everybody, that even though we could go sideways or slightly weaken a little more, we're not close to breaking anything. Does that make sense? Like you could chop even more and you're still totally in an uptrend. Okay, you're absolutely in an uptrend. And, you know, same thing, even if we weakened, even if we came down and danced on this line and we were just showing a lot of weakness, you're still a long way from falling apart. Okay. I don't know if it were a long way, but you guys get the point, right? That this uptrend is not broken. This is, we're still moving up here. And as a matter of fact, come to the weekly. Yeah, you can see the weekly, MACD, the monthly. Now the monthly shows a little bit of that, but see this? It does these things where it bounces, right? Off the red line. Now I'm not crazy about this, the RSI on it. You know, we pushed up, but this can be normal. You can have these divergences where even though we pushed up in the total valuation of the crypto total 3, the RSI did not show, you know, a higher high here, but it's not showing a lower high. It's just kind of doing a double top. Either way, not crazy about it at all. But right now, nothing's broken. All right, nothing's broken right now. It's not an easy market. I've talked to my friends who are like professional traders. They're moving, you know, $1 million positions, and they're saying no one can make heads or tails of anything. Like, you know what I mean? It's absolutely irrational market, absolutely irrational. And this is what happens as you get to the end of a cycle, right? So 2026, you know, when we think of the bigger cycle too, the longer cycles, we're near the end. We're much closer to the end than we are to the beginning. Now, whether there's 1 year left or 2 years left, it's still on an 18-year time cycle, we're at the end, okay? But this is the best part. This is where all the gains are, so it's good to be here. But the point is, it's the most irrational it could be. The most irrational. It doesn't get, you guys have to get used to this, that there may be very little certainty, that you're gonna like look at people you trust and see what they're looking at and talking about, and you're gonna have to come to your own decisions, because even they themselves are having trouble making sense of it, because it is that irrational, right? Even Bob Lucas de-risk, he's like, I don't even know what's going on, right? Like, even Bitcoin maxis are like, I gotta take a little off the table. No one can make sense of anything at this point. Is the pi cycle top indicator even gonna work this time? Like, everything's crazy, right? Let's go look at the Dixie. Just really quick, and we'll just look at some charts, man. We'll look at Inc. See what's going on. So, yeah,
Inc looks good today.
So Dixie, my target was 103. We hit 103 to the wick, came up a little, and now we've dumped like crazy.
Good.
Now this makes sense for a trade war right now. This makes sense, but how come, you know, risk assets aren't rallying like a motherfucker? Instead, gold is rallying the most. This is really interesting. Really interesting. Do we get a continuation of this, right? I mean, fuck. This is nuts, dude. Jeez. It's so crazy. I drew this live on stream exactly to 103, and we fucking did a red dump right to it. So, should I draw a line going lower again? The thing is, this has to pump now. I mean, you see where the MACD is and the RSI. Like, there's always major reversals. We've hit this, man. For now, we're coming down. For now, it's weak, okay? But what this could turn into down here is a W, right? Like, this could turn into something like this, right?
What does that tell us?
It's very bullish. It's kind of like we have here. We even had a W here. But it was like a messy one. Didn't do much. This one was probably pretty strong. No, it's about the same. They're just kind of staying in this range. Let's go with it. Jeez. Yeah, look. I mean, yeah, Dixie does look like it could strengthen. I mean, it's touching 30 right now. But it does go below 30. It does go below 30. Wow. Crazy, man. It does look like it could go lower. Yeah. So maybe this is good for us. You know, maybe we'll get a little tiny pump, which will be us bottoming out, you know, and then see you later, bye-bye, right? And I guess the next...
It'd be a perfect storm. You know, combine that with printing money, right, with, you know, better crypto regulations or lack thereof. We could have a nice 3 months here, at least until those tariffs are back on.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, we could get a big juicy bounce, comes up to this where it's fallen out of, gets rejected, and bam, it just falls again, right? Comes back to like this 300 here on the monthly. Kind of does what it's done back here, right? We hit, we come down and hit.
What do you think about the tariff thing? Like Trump made the announcement pausing tariffs for 90 days, which like coincided very closely with the large pump in the price of Bitcoin and, you know, markets in general. Do you think people will front run that 90 days? You know, like start selling it down 30 days out kind of thing?
The pause on tariffs, like front run the tariffs?
Yeah.
How do they front run the tariffs? Because they're going to restart them in 90 days?
Well, or at least, you know, at least there would be some action that could be negative in 90 days, right? Like, so if you know it's like 90 days with no tariffs, the market's like that, price went up, but then the markets have this date on the calendar. Here's the date that tariffs restart, right? Like, you know, I would think the pros aren't going to wait, like risk management wise, for the 89th day, right? They're gonna front run that.
When is the end of that? He did that like on April 9th, he froze it, so it would be April, May, June, July. April, May, June, July. July would start. I mean, it's funny, that times with starting of Q or mid of Q3, right? And we pump in a fall. Yeah, man, I don't think I've thought about that enough to give an answer on that one. How? I mean, obviously there's going to be negotiating in this 90 days that happens, so it's really impossible to even think about it, because it's not a hard rule that those tariffs are going to come back in 90 days. There absolutely could be negotiation between now and there, so maybe whatever does come is, maybe it's better.
Well, there has been. They're signing deals every day. Like India just signed a deal with the United States. The Vietnam signing deals. Like, you know.
Yeah.
The big one's China, obviously, though, right? Like what happens between the U.S. and China.
China matters the most, man. I don't think anybody else really matters that much. It's really this thing going on with China that matters a lot.
Yep.
That's really all that matters. Changing their mind. Yeah, there's a level of manipulation right now that's going on. There's definitely multiple thoughts, and we can think about it right now. I mean, you know, we could. You've got a situation here where you either believe, it's not either or, it's not black and white. Because, and this is why I don't like discussing this or going on, because I think it's somewhat of a waste of time, because some people are taking what the Fed is saying at their word, that the Fed is doing X, Y, and Z, and, you know, how their decisions are going to affect this and that. But really, what if the Fed knows exactly what they're doing, and they're purposely, you know, deceiving because they have some game going on, right? Are they working with Trump? Are they working against him? Well, either way, it doesn't matter. What matters is that they might not be telling us what they think they're doing or what they know they're doing, if that makes sense.
Totally.
And the data.
Yeah, I don't trust them. That's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Like the data's all fucked up, a lot of it to begin with. They may absolutely be doing, in some way. Look, in the video I made called Atropa, the Wall Street of Crypto, I started out by saying a lot of people, you don't understand, all these charts are going to be reset. What I'm getting at is they have something called CBDCs. These are central bank digital currencies, all right? And they have to roll them out, okay? And I don't want to make this stream about CBDCs, but it's in the back of my head that they're coming. Now, they can't just roll them out mid-bull run. They're probably going to roll them out at a time when you are susceptible to change, which is usually a time of pain. Okay, when you're bullish and your bank account's strong, you're not going to accept, you know, a CBDC. But maybe if shit's bad and they roll out a CBDC and they put an incentive on the CBDC, like a stimulus for you, like maybe you get, you know, lower taxes or percentage extra for every CBDC you take for your dollar. I don't know how it's going to work. You would maybe be susceptible to go like, yeah, I'll take it, man. Shit sucks right now. My bank account sucks. Give me the CBDC. It adds 5% on my total that I change, and or I pay less taxes, or I get an extra rebate by accepting the fucking CBDC. If your account is 10x from here, you'll be like, fuck your 5K rebate. I don't want it. But if everything's shit and they're like, we're giving you CBDC, you might be like, you know what? I could use a 5K rebate right now. So they're going to, it's a hook or by crook thing, man. And they're going to roll them out. All right. So do you really think, and this is just something, do you really think the big bull run's going to happen when everybody has CBDCs and they can track every fucking thing? Or do you think it's going to happen before we get CBDCs? I mean,
I would think before.
Yeah, my bet's on before, man. My bet's before that they're going to, you don't want CBDCs. No one's going to take them. So what are they going to do?
They'll be rushing to get in before the CBDCs go live, right?
Yeah. So, you know, even if we get a pump, it's not going to be the big one. I think the big run comes after the CBDC rollout is what I'm thinking. All right. So whatever this banner cycle top is, we looked at, the CBDCs are going to happen before this top is what I'm thinking. Okay. Unless we're just going to have a run up, fire it off in September, October, you know, everything ends. I don't know if I'll buy in that either. There's room for a massive bull run loading right now, but they need the CBDCs getting in there. The only way to do that is to apply a little bit of pain so that the CBDCs seem like a solution and not part of the problem, if that makes sense.
Yep.
I'm just thinking, once again, just strategy, game theory, market psychology is all I'm thinking about right now, right? And actually, I think Eurozone has the CBDCs already almost ready. Right. The EU, I think, already has it. I'm sure CBDCs will be related to the current stable coins in some fashion. I don't know. We don't know. Georgie says,
I wonder if they're going to screw that up. You know, like watch France launch a CBDC that has an exploit. That would be pretty funny.
Yeah. The CBDC rescue after Black Swan. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It makes sense to me that it shows up so it looks like a solution, as opposed to people having to question like, hey, what's this all about? You want to track my money? Hey, man, if they make shit bad and then they introduce it, you might be like, oh, you know, fuck, dude. Yeah, give me the CBDC. I'll take it. Whatever you got, man. Just make the pain stop is what people will say. Just make the market go up is what people will cry out. That's how it is, man. So there's a good chance. And so I'm thinking they're going to roll out CBDCs. That means there's some red coming. And it's probably going to be nasty red because they want you to fucking take the CBDC. Okay. So they're going to pack it with some incentive. Georgie says, particularly enjoyed this one. Good to see fast again. Catching the rest tomorrow. Hit the like button if you want PulseChain to pump. Thanks, Georgie. Good to have you tonight.
Georgie. Nice to have a fan. I've had a rough weeks.
You've had a rough couple weeks. Why?
Oh, there's been a lot of drama. The various Maddie associated drama and pDAI associated drama, and a lot of angry peeps on Twitter, which is fine. It keeps me sharp, but
yeah,
it's nice sometimes when people are happy to see you.
It is good, man. You've had a lot because you were launching right into all this storm.
Totally, yeah. I actually paused my launch because of all the drama that was happening, but I couldn't pause it that long. I had things to do. So yeah, just busy in actual button pressing, like things like real work to do. Plus, just the socials got pretty crazy in the last couple of months.
Yeah, they've been pretty crazy, man. And
for Twitter views,
I even had
Twitter views are up.
We had a special stream we were gonna do too, and then I got super sick as well, and the pDAI thing happened.
Yeah,
it's been nuts. So
we still got to do that stream because I need to do a giveaway. I got $3,000 worth of stuff that I've put aside to give away to people.
Cool, man.
So
well, I
want to do it live on the stream.
I got some cool templates ready. Now I know that, I don't know if you believed in all that moon stuff, but now do you understand the power of the blood moon and these lunar cycles, the ancient ritualistic?
I see the correlation on the chart.
Yeah.
I like it happens because people believe it's going to happen.
No,
But still,
come on, man.
It is correlated.
There's sacrificial times. Retro Neon, what's up, brother? I'd rather be in Serbia than take a CBDC. See, they have to make it painful for people.
How bad is Serbia?
I'd rather be in Serbia than take a CBDC. Retro Neon, thank you so much for that super chat, brother. I love Serbia, man. I love it, dude. I absolutely love Serbia, dude. And so hello from Czech Republic to Serbia. And Georgie says, I like Fast Abdoul. I appreciate your knowledge and contribution. Chaos theory at work. Consumer spending is an all-time low. Wouldn't be surprised if they roll them out. Yeah, so we're heading there. It doesn't make sense to make... Yeah, you know, I don't know how it's going to play out. I don't know how this is going to play out. But so back to the Fed. So if the Fed knows, obviously they know there's a CBDC and that they're ready. They know everything already, right? So the Fed might be knowing that there's literally, you know, a bit of a destruction of the markets, like a controlled demolition, where they're going to like kind of like, you know, bring this down to a point where they're like, okay, it's painful enough where like people will take the fucking medicine. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Problem, reaction, solution. Yeah. So we don't know how it's going to happen though. Like, is there going to be a black swan? Is it just going to be this constant, you know, weakening where we don't expect it, but you know, BTC we go up again, but we could absolutely go up again. I'm not saying it starts now. I don't know when it's going to start, but what I am trying to let you know is I think the Fed is in on it, is what I'm getting at. I don't believe anything they're saying. I don't think they're trying to fix anything genuinely. If they were trying to fix shit, we wouldn't even be here in the first place. They would have cut rates a long time ago, but I think they purposely have got things up and they're going to bring it down based on their schedule of time. And it seems to be that way. You know, there's a game being played. I don't even see the point in discussing too much about shit they're saying and blah, 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 and even the tariff thing a bit. I think it's all being timed really perfectly well. And they know when they're ready to apply the pain, it's going to be placed on us because they're going to want their CBDCs to look like the medicine, because otherwise nobody's going to want to take it. Right now, it's not enough pain. You're not going to take it. Even if they offer you a rebate check, maybe you wouldn't take it. It has to get painful enough where people trade over their privacy for the CBDC. It has to be that painful. So at what point for you would it be so painful that you'd say, fuck it, you know, here, Fed, here's my bank account, whatever, you can switch it to see, whatever. What is that point for you? Because that's what they need. They need to bring it to that point where people will give up their privacy and take the CBDC.
Yeah, they'll have to be scared, right? Like people think things like that are okay if they're scared enough.
Yeah.
Or if they see some greater evil that it's preventing. Well, CBDCs are bad, but like I don't want terrorists to have money, so I should use it, right? Like, or
something.
Whatever story they can.
Whatever story, 100%. And once again, I'm just thinking, pups. I don't know if this is going to happen. It could happen tomorrow. Could happen. I don't know. I don't know. But I'm trying to position myself where whatever happens, I'm ready. I'm not at a place right now where I'm like, oh, I'm all in or all out or anything like that. I'm kind of like, cool. I'm just trying to play smart because I know it's coming. I feel like the Fed is purposely manipulating shit to get us to a place to bring in these CBDCs at some point. And once again, I could be totally wrong. Maybe CBDCs never come and we're 10 years away from them. I don't freaking know. But I have a feeling, my first guess is they might be pretty close. And I would think that if they're going to take us into a massive bull run and they're going to bring retail back in, because retail's not here yet, okay? We know that. They're probably going to bring CBDCs before and then bring the retail in so they can track them, everybody, and they don't have to worry as much about taxes and all that shit, right? And then they can pump everything all they want, but they can see everything you're doing and they know what you got and all that shit. And there'll be some good things about it. Yeah, maybe taxes become a lot cheaper and easier to do because of CBDCs. So there'll be some positives for sure, right? Because maybe they already know half your all your gains and losses. Fast.
There'll be positives in that everybody's grandma will be getting their pension checks and CBDCs, right?
Yeah.
And the transition from that pension check to buying Bitcoin will be much shorter. So, you know, to be grandparented into the system before that happens is probably going to be positive.
Wait, because of what? Why being grandparented in?
Like when CBDCs come out and, you know, my grandma's getting her pension check in CBDCs, like it'll be a lot easier for people to make the transition from, you know, these CBDCs, this crypto money in their wallet, to buying volatile crypto assets.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Transition gets easier. It's less daunting. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of those things. Yeah. Forgot about grandma.
Like, and then your bank's going to be selling you Ethereum and Bitcoin and everything else, right? Like, the bank's going to want their piece.
Yeah, that's another thing I think about too, is they're setting up their structure right now. They don't want you to buying it off Binance. They want you to be able to buy Ethereum right out of Wells Fargo. You know what I mean? With your CBDC, which is to Fast point. You know, grandma can just, you know, get into the ETH ETF right from her Wells Fargo or Bank of America or whatever, very easily. And they'll hold it for you. No problem. Let them hold it, right? Not your keys, not your coin. But that's the reality. That's what's going on, right? Look, PulseChain came down to new lows. On that video I had, the low, the one I showed on Twitter where I'd called it back in January 7th, the low was 0.000133. We're close. This could be the bottom. We're certainly showing some good strength coming in here right now, but we can go to a higher time frame like the weekly, and you know, we have broken out of this downtrend a little bit. You can see that even here on the weekly. Let me change the music here. It's fucking awful. What the fuck is this?
Somebody banging on pans.
Jesus. But these are good prices. They're good. You know, I can't tell you if this is the bottom or not. I did have a lower target. You know, I don't know if we're gonna get there. That's what I was doing. That's right. I was doing something. That's right. I was starting to look at this like a falling wedge. I was starting to draw some interesting stuff. That what if? I think there's a break in this first candle as well. Oh yeah, that's how I was maybe getting to those targets. I was doing some stuff here with this. Now it depends how we do it though. Right? If we do that, it could be the bottom, right? If I take it from there,
I like the current bottom. We don't need to make a new one.
But I think
this case thing on the 21st, like, it could be gold, right? Especially if on the 22nd Richard turns on the YouTube streaming. All right.
Yeah.
Which I could see happening.
You should probably get ready for a bit of selling into that news. But in general, it's going to be extraordinarily positive and would be what we're looking for, you know. But
yep.
We're looking good. I mean, you know, on the weekly, we are rolling over. You can see this MACD. All right. You can see it curving. That's good. This is all good, right? This is really good stuff right there. It's all stuff we want to see. We did come down to those lower targets, so I think we're just a little macro dependent, possibly. I would also expect if we're going to be breaking out, it could be good news for ETH as well, possibly.
Yep.
What could happen here, and what would be very decisive is this comes down, even if it makes a lower low. Let's say it does this. let's say it does something like that. Even what will happen is we'll get a higher high on the RSI, right? Like this. That will be your extraordinary bullish bottom right there. And that from there is always a sign of like, we're about to fire off. That's called, I don't know, bullish divergence, I guess. And that's like classic bottom, where you get the RSI make
Liquidity's so low. Like with this low liquidity, like, you know, if a couple whales start bridging in millions of dollars, like it would take very little, and that's by design.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. The pump out of here would be extraordinary, like extraordinary. And you'll have, it's what's called a lockout move. So you won't be able to get in. So you may not even get a chance to see this. I mean, it can happen anytime, right? But ideally, I want to see like this curl over and maybe makes a higher high or double bottom, whatever, and the RSI it stays very high, and that's a big sign, because when the move actually happens, it's going to be wherever it happens from. It's probably going to be like that, where it comes up, it'll break all this, and you'll only be able to get in maybe like half point. What's that? Half a sack? No, not even 0.0005 or 6 or something like that, right? So it'll make like a immediate 5x, and you'll be locked out of it, right? So do something like that, and then what'll happen is you'll have like, you know, your inverse head and shoulder kind of thing right here, and then from here it's just, you know, bullish move after bullish move to the upside, right? Then it's like, then we just keep going.
Not to mention if those sack bags are deployed, you know, I feel like we need to see a higher ETH price before that happens for obvious reasons. But
how much does Richard Hart still have? Because he only deployed a certain percentage onto ETH, right?
Oh yeah, some silly number. Well, I got a website here. Let me find it. There's a website called lookintorh.com that Red Squirrel gave me. Not sure if he's behind it or not. I'm going to drop in the chat here, and I think it shows RH's ETH bags. It was on my list of things to do to check that website out. But.
Well, no, his ETH bag is there, but that wasn't his whole. Oh, it wasn't his whole thing. I know the site you're talking about.
Oh, well, we don't even know all he has. That guy was mining Bitcoin when it was cheap, so.
Well, I mean, that's. Yeah, this site I know. I mean, he's not going to deploy this until he's back above water.
Yeah, we need $4,000 plus ETH, right?
Yeah, that's
he bought in at 3,700.
Oh, that's not going to happen overnight, man. This is going to take time to bring ETH back up, right?
Yeah.
That's a big move for ETH to get up back to 4K and above.
Yep.
I thought he had a bag we could see that's much more than even this bag. Or this is all we can see?
We can see other sack wallets and stuff like that. I honestly, I haven't analyzed this. I just asked somebody for it yesterday, and I haven't brought it up yet.
Yeah,
so it's the first time.
Yeah, this is heartbreaking. Yeah, I mean, this is bad. I mean, and what's crazy is the entry price was lower than when I called the top for ETH when I was saying get out, which was about 38.50. So he actually technically could have still de-risked. At least de-risked, like pull it half out or something, right?
With that volume, even on ETH, he would have had slippage, right? Like, you know, he pushed the price up, he pushed it back down.
Well, I mean, this would have to be broken up into like 50 trades, you know, like.
Yeah, obviously. But the ETH to pulse ratio now is better than it was at the time of that purchase, right? So it's like he's actually getting like 2.5 times more pulse if that was his goal.
Fair enough.
With
fair
that
enough.
ETH than he would have got at that time.
Fair enough. Absolutely. Fair enough. Yeah. So in the ratio sense, it's fine. Yeah. We got to remember that is not, and that might be part of the strategy of keeping pulse so low, so that it always makes sense in that ETH to pulse ratio, right? Because for him, if he buys back and he can just keep pulse much lower, it's still a win-win for him in that sense, right? He's still he's still getting more.
He wants to be able to advertise, 10,000 exits, right? Like that's which is obviously he's going to call that from the bottom, and so if the bottom, if he thinks the bottom is in, that's a likely time where he could start deploying based on ratios, not based on dollar figures.
If you want the 10,000x theory, then I would say like a little lower makes sense to me if you really want that, because right now we're still at 190 million market cap. I think 100 to 150 might make the most sense. So it's still massive.
It also doesn't have to be Pulse, right? Like it's like it's going to be a Richard Hart ticker, in my opinion. Like it could be.
Oh, got you.
Could be.
Doesn't have to be this.
Could be Ink. Could be Hex, right? Like
could be Ink.
Anything in the spectrum. PulseX. He's bought PulseX recently. The Most token, the Pump token. He's bought those. The guy likes to buy his own bags.
So PulseX broke down from the uptrend we were in. If you guys see, obviously you know, it's fallen out and it's coming up to retest what was once support has now become resistance. So it's coming up to retest that. It does look very bullish. It certainly looks like it wants to break right through that. I'm telling you right now, it's got a juicy W, higher lows with like a parabola of constantly getting higher on the lows. So RSI looks great. MACD's crossing up. It looks like it wants to get back in. And PulseX has been very strong. So I don't doubt it won't do it. I think that might have been your bottom there on PulseX, at least for now. Very, very good looking chart.
What's the ratio of PulseX to Pulse now?
Yeah, let's go look. Let's do it. It's probably destroying Pulse again. Yeah, you know, it came to the midline. I can just come here. Just for now. Something like that, whatever. I should probably draw a thing. It's not really proper. That looks like shit. But it looks like it might be done going down there. PulseX strong, man. PulseX is very strong.
So it's like 0.85 Pulse to 1 PulseX.
Yeah. Yeah. Damn.
And Ink is most closely tied with PulseX as far as liquidity goes.
Ink.
Yeah, the main liquidity is against PulseX, not Pulse.
If I got really strict with this, and like, just did it like this. Huh.
I think there's friction at that 1-to-1 ratio.
Yeah, I wonder if we come up and it falls. I did have a theory I was saying before. I was like, at some point he's gonna make Pulse like look amazing, right? Because it's still the main ticker. Like, what if we come up, you get a double top here, just like ETH did, and not only does it come down, but it will make something like that, and then it'll.
Good. Pulse is the most direct way to pump the entire chain.
Right.
Like, sure, you could pump like most token, or like pump token, like easiest, like the lowest liquidity things. But like if you want the whole chain to pump, then like you drop 300 million into Pulse.
Yes.
And literally everything pumps.
That's what I'm thinking, man. I think at some point Pulse is gonna fly and leave everything destroyed in its wake, right? And so maybe you're saying there's a lot of friction there. Yeah, maybe it comes up, hits that again, gives us the M, ugly looking M, and then we just smack. And it's just like, see you later, bye-bye. And then we probably come down to like, where has it been really strict? Right here, like 0.5, right? So it'd be like come down to like something like that, right? And this would be when we really take off, because you want your main thing also to be the main thing everyone's talking about, like Pulse, the Pulse is flying, right? So you could, that looks a very, very likely move, because when I adjust these lines, I do see an ascending wedge too. And I have been thinking at some point, Pulse has to destroy everything at one point of the move, and then it'll
like the long play, like the short play. It could be like it could be the most token followed by Ink followed by Hex, right?
Yeah.
But like the long play, the big win is Pulse going to 10 cents or something stupid.
Yeah, 100%. So this is going to happen at some point. I don't know when or how far we're going to push up. I'm choosing this because we have friction at that 1 cent anyway, so maybe it makes sense. We get this little double top. We'll make a little M there, and that'll be the end of that for a little bit. Now let's go look at Ink. What's going on with Ink?
You said a good couple days overall.
Buck 26, yeah, looking good. Look at that beautiful, beautiful W right there. I mean, we're definitely going to get a fucking rally. Look at this super bearish, bullish divergence here on the RSI. Really, really pumpy right there. That is a very bullish looking RSI right there. Wants to fire off. Cross on the MACD. It's 3-day. Wow. Ooh, ink is looking good, man. Nice.
Yeah, I've noticed with the ink printer, more people have locked ink in the contract in the last couple of days. It went up from 2.8 million ink to 3.12 million ink in just, in just 2 days. So it's like they're taking leverage on ink probably. Like it's going to be speculators who want leverage on ink that are doing that.
The ink speculators. Look at this weekly over here. Okay, so we still got a little bit of work to do, man. We still got a little work to do on the bigger time frames. But we have broken out. We don't want this to become bigger, but I have to be ready for it. All right, that we could.
I'm doing my best, Wolf. I don't know how much harder I can work.
You got to promote harder, bro. Susie Q, it's great seeing you. Are you flying? Are you actually literally flying? Or are you just taking off for the night? Who wants to fire off? I'll fire off with you. I don't even know who you are. I'm just kidding. What kind of fire off are we talking about?
Met Susie in Vegas. She's,
okay. Gotcha.
About the happiest person on the PulseChain as far as I can tell.
Nice. Ink's fair value is like $25 for the LP providers. Fuck yeah. Let's get it up to, let's make that our goal. What do you say? Let's get it up to $25 fast at some point. Look.
I would like to see more like a $2,000 ink. If you look at the inflation reduction and what that did to the APRs in the PulseX farms, if you want to get those APRs back up to the same level, you need like at least a multi-$100, if not $1,000+ ink, right? So, I think that would be fine. And the liquidity is pretty low compared to, it may be the lowest of the RHS. No, it's probably not. It's probably behind Hex for low liquidity, but it wouldn't be that hard to pump, especially if it has some sort of hidden feature that hasn't been announced yet.
Right. Okay, look. So smaller time frames, yeah, there's some pumpage potential. I'm not crazy about the longer time frames. I'm not going to get too in the weeds about it because we've just had nonstop bad news just in general. So I'll tell you. So the next stop would be 84 below us, 85 for me. The next one below that would be about 60 cents ish. And then the double bottom down here would be about 40 cents ish. Okay. I'm not going to, no point in giving the lower ones right now, but above us, I do have a feeling we are going to hopefully have a little bit of rally. I mean, it certainly looks bullish on smaller time frames. Okay. You got a ton of resistance up here at about, around, $1.50. Let's just say around $1.50. You got to break that. Then you got a ton of it around $1.80. $1.80. Yeah. If you can break $1.80, we could go up and start doing some damage up here, man. We could start making a run for $4 again.
Well, I'll get on that right away.
But weekly's week. Not like in the week. See some nasty signs in there. It is what it is. I think it's a time thing, and I said this before. I think it's a cycle and time thing. They are manipulating ETH, and I've been saying this for months now, that they've been manipulating ETH. It was bullish forever. They made everybody think it was altcoin season. It was obviously big money, or whoever's manipulating was doing what they were doing. It was obvious. I could see it in the charts, the manipulation. So it's a time thing. When they're ready to, they're kind of like holding us down under the water, right? When they're ready, we're going to go nuts. And I think PulseChain, obviously, same thing. In the shorter time frames, we can go up, down, whatever. We can see it in the charts, but we are slaves to this, whatever they're up to, right? A little bit. Whatever they got going on. We got to look at WBTC. I'm here repeating your amazing word. Fired up. Time for some wine. Hey, let's do it. Cheers. I'm rolling my end stakes into Atropa. It is cheap price, isn't it? Okay, so speaking of Atropa, well, I don't know if the wrap BTC is, it's not really a tropa, it's just another P copy, but
Yeah, there might be some liquidity connection there. I think that it might have been one of the webs, but it's not as direct as some things probably.
yeah. Okay, so we are at $211. What's going on? I haven't really looked at this too much. I think that we're bullish, but kind of on the shorter, on the shorter scale, to be honest. Like we could make our move up to this trend line kind of thing. Yes, we are. I think, even though we're bullish on the short term, could see a little bit more. I do like that 3-day. If anything, it's more of a situation where the wick gets filled or something, where we come, into the hundreds again a little bit. But in general, I mean, it looks like we could be having a bit of reversal. I think the RSI is picking up, and
I'm only seeing 22K liquidity against the tropa. So it's not, if the tropa guy dumps again, it's not gonna affect it nearly as much as before.
Yeah, I think we're good, man. If anything, yeah, you just may get a little bit of wick fill or chop. It's not always up and down. You could just chop, right, for a little bit, for a while. Come up, down, chop, before we get ready to make our move. You can see what it's done before, right? You get these rounded bottoms. So this could be the start of that, right?
Yep.
You come, this round bottom hits some of those wicks, right? And then you make this like this, and then you go, right? You got this inverse head and shoulders down there. Just like you've done before, right? Inverse head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders. The rounded bottom hits some of the wicks. It'll eat up some of these wicks. So you may get, 140, 150, who knows? Maybe you get another chance down here to scoop up a little more. It's hard pressed for me to believe charts like this will go from this to this. You know what I mean? Like,
yep.
I mean, it's possible. Anything's possible, but I'm pretty hard pressed to believe that comes from this. Like, and that's true. You need some way, some consolidation. Some, and that could be true for a lot of charts, even pDAI, right? Like, pDAI is right now at 0.0018. I remember we talked a lot about, our next target was up here at 10 cents or something. Yeah, that we're going to get between 10 and 12 cents.
That was pre-exploit the talk, though, right?
That was pre-exploit.
When you made that target?
Yeah, absolutely. So right now we're underneath a pretty major area. There's no doubt about that. Okay, and so it once again, same thing too. And once again, this isn't a debate on the peg narrative or exploit. I'm just saying, even if you believe the peg, and I'm not getting into that debate right now because I think we're all exhausted. Do you really think it's going to peg right now? And I doubt it, right? Whatever they're telling you, 2 weeks, blah, blah. I don't buy it. I'm not saying it's not going to peg. I'm not saying that at all. I'm open to it. But what I am saying is, do you really think this chart turns into this chart? You know what I mean? Once again, it could happen. Anything's possible in crypto. I just don't see that happening, man. I don't see, you can draw it like this, like the curves. However you want to do it. Or you think a hockey stick comes immediately after this, right? Do you really think that
would require, $25 billion, and then you could have that hockey stick.
Yeah,
so gotta find the $25 billion.
Yeah. So either way, whether you believe in the peg narrative or not, or the exploit's going to be fixed, there's probably going to be some work to do in this range. Okay, just TA, like, you're probably once again going to come up, retest. You're going to have to come down. Eventually we'll make you know, we'll make a rounded bottom. It'll have to build something, whatever. Now, I don't know how low that's going to go, and I don't know what people are talking about in that sense. But either way, you might get something like that, and then maybe there'll be some new bullish narratives. They fix something, whatever happens. I don't know. Hopefully, because it's good for the chain. So hopefully, whatever it is, somebody gets it sorted and good stuff comes out of it. But you could absolutely come down and hit targets. Either way, you need some consolidation. You can even see before, it always consolidated between rips. Okay, see all these? Before it ripped again. So sometimes it's crazy when you have these moves like this. They're so impulsive, and then everyone thinks we're immediately going to rip again. And we don't have to use pDAI. pDAI's got a lot of emotion behind it. But you can even see ink. Before it made this big move, it has this period of consolidation. Let me turn this off so you guys can see it, what I'm talking to you about. So he's got this period around a bottom. It builds up. You need a disbelief phase. You need all these emotional phases, guys. You need all of them. They're true for every market cycle, whether it's a 4-week market cycle.
But there was, like coinciding with bullish news, or with ink, there was actually like a change in the tokenomics, right? Because it went from like 4.4 ink being released per block to 0.03 ink being released per block. So the actual tokenomics changed, right?
Yeah, I mean, yes and no, but the narrative is so strong and people are so bullish on it, it could be traded no matter what. Like Luna, everybody walked away. It ended up doing a 300x. It outperformed Hex, right? So it doesn't even matter if it's like worthless or they're still making the token. If there's like enough people that are trading it, volumes up, it's almost always still going to follow one of these. So you need anger, capitulation, depression. Even where we are now on BTC, you can see on these little rallies, which is what I was talking about in the Telegram group. I said this is all these little cycles, these little areas, they go through the same thing. They go from when it breaks out of here back in February 24th, there's disbelief. Disbelief is right here. Oh, this one's going to be rejected. We're going to make a lower low. Oh, and it makes a higher high. It repeats the same thing of disbelief, then hope, optimism. You can come here, then you go hope, optimism, and see this little bear trap right there? What's that? That's usually this right here. One of these, right? Where it makes that big down move. Yep. And then you get here to the end where we were in September of 2024, October, what was that? That was depression. Fuck, is the cycle over? Da, 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 da. And then you have a break of a higher low, and it's the same thing repeats, disbelief. And then we go and we make a higher high. And so same thing when you come here to ink, same thing. You get down here. What's down here? Depression, anger. Ink hit 40 cents. Do you remember how angry people were? I remember because I'd been farming all fucking summer long, and we watched ink go from 80 bucks to 40 cents. People were in depression, okay? And what happened? It hit depression. It broke out. And when it got here, I remember people thinking, I remember feeling that, like, oh, bullshit, it's going to go lower, right? It's going to go lower. What's that? Disbelief. Suckers rally. Ink's about to make a lower low. And then what did ink do? Shot up to fucking $4. All right. So it went into optimism. This rally's real. Belief. And what did ink do? It went on to go all the way up to 10 bucks. Okay. And what happened again? It crashed. And now we were farming. We were all bullish on ink. But what didn't happen was this. Dude, if I get a second, it crashed down here, made a low of $1.50. It didn't immediately, like from here, just go like, oh, hey guys, and start doing it. It doesn't do that. There's no chart that does that. Okay. Unless you're in like the most bullish, euphoria phase of the market, right? Otherwise, it needs to go through this phase again, which is anger, depression, disbelief. What are we going through on ink again? Right now, where are we at? People are angry. So what comes next? There's probably going to be a bit of depression here too, because maybe what happens is ink does just go sideways. It doesn't have to make a lower low. It can just chop sideways, okay? It could just chop and piss everybody.
Sit at $1.20 for 2 weeks or something.
Just sit here forever, scoop down one last time, and then go like that, right? What'll happen here? Depression, just like it happened here. Guys, it's the same thing over and over and over again, every chart, okay? It doesn't matter what you're looking at, DAI, Teddy. Oh, by the way, Teddy, so they launched a new teddy bear. I nibbled a little bit. I love the teddies, so I got a tiny bit, but it's looking good so far.
B-Roots he's pushing it, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's pumping it, just like Somi's pumping pDAI hard right now, right? So these things are going to pump when there's a lot of people pumping it. Now, where's the other bear? Let's go look at what the other bear's doing, the Atropa bear. Where's it at? Got a little bit of pump. So same thing. So see, this broke out of here. It's not going immediately to higher highs. It's just going to go sideways and chop and consolidate sideways, right? Now, this looks very bullish, but it didn't quite break out of this inverse head and shoulders. Not over yet, though. Not over yet. Still kind of cup and handle thing kind of forming there. Kind of falling wedge. This could absolutely break up. $4.6 million market cap. But this has got some work to do. Even if we break up, I think we'll probably have a little bit of more consolidation here. But still, super bullish pattern on the old teddy bear. No matter what anybody says, I don't give a fuck. The charts tell me something is extraordinarily bullish about this fucking chart, man. That's a falling wedge. That's about as bullish looking chart as you can get. Now, what it means, because people are saying it's over and da-da-da-da-da, but the chart is telling me something else. And that's all I can say. But doesn't mean it just rips to all-time highs, right? There's still a time component here. But the charts don't lie. When did the Atropa dev start dumping shit live on camera?
Well, you pretty much see it on the chart.
Is
probably.
This it? April? No, March. No, it wasn't there. When did it happen? Right here? When did the Atropa dev make that video where they were like just dumping like crazy?
For 5 hours, yeah. But liquidity of bear to Atropa is way down, right? There's only about 65K liquidity paired between the two of them now.
Yeah. So that's an issue for sure. But what was the date of that dumping video? Anybody remember that famous video? Was it already this long ago? No. Is it over here? I mean, look, man, this is still holding, I guess, like similar to pDAI, I suppose. pDAI's just been holding in this range. Interesting. Yeah, look, there's also no liquidity here either, and no one seems to care right now. I guess you can't sell it if you still have it, and you can't really buy that much either. Well, that's what it is. It's a teddy bear. Teddy bear, bear. The new one's called Teddy, folks, just so you know. So the old one is called Bear. All right. The new one, did I save it? Where'd it go? The new one is called Teddy. All right. Where is it at? Is this it? Here it is. Let's go look. Do they have a website? I didn't even know if they had a website.
I just heard there was a website announced today. So I think
Teddy Takeover. There you go. They just literally took it over.
It's kind of a takeover. It isn't a takeover usually. Like they take over the existing contract number. Like this is a new token, right? It's like a Teddy replacement.
Yeah.
Migration.
This is cool. Look, it looks cool. I mean, looks.
Yeah.
It's another meme, right? It's a meme, is what it is. Okay, so treat it as such.
Totally is. I'm more bullish on this than I would have been on the stuff that was attached to Atropa. With that guy still has, considerable amounts of things he can dump, right?
So what?
I know.
What's your verdict? Do you think he's just a total bad actor?
I don't see anything to the contrary, right? Like the guy sold his own stuff and bridged off chain, right? So whether he, relaunches his product on another chain and airdrops his community or, something like that could change my mind. But like right now, the evidence is like, yeah, you dump your own token publicly for like 5 hours, which I guess is better than doing it privately, and then bridged off chain. Like that's the evidence I understand. So, yeah, hard to see it as bullish.
It's interesting. Like I was thinking the other day about Maria again, because I was like, wow, it's so surreal, right? It's so crazy. I kind of took a little bit of time off. I wasn't streaming as intensely over the last week, and I was thinking about RH last bull run, how like he was talking about Mashinsky and he was talking about this person and that person and protecting everybody and like this scammer and that scammer. He was calling out everybody, man, everybody. And here's this guy in glitter, the same glitter that RH wears, because RH has a glitter suit that's the exact same color as the 414 dev, which is interesting. And here's RH.
I think they're different sizes.
They're different sizes, sure, but they both love that sparkly glitter thing, right? RH also wears it. So here's this guy, similar personality, similar fashion sense to RH, outlandish, exact same fashion sense, hanging out on his chain, doing this stuff that's dangerous, not good, can print his own tokens, scam everybody, and RH says nothing. I'm just putting it out there, man. I still had to think about that and let that sink in this week, and it doesn't gel right with me, man. Something still, you know, kind of like how I've been talking about the Fed and the relationship with Fed and the Trump and the things they say, but what they're actually doing and what they know. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to get too deep in the weeds about it, but
I feel like they don't know each other. I don't think there's a relationship there. But
okay, let's say they don't know each other.
I can't say that 100%.
We can't say it 100%. Well, let's say they don't know each other. Let's say they just don't. Still, a guy who wears the same. Now, if you owned an orange glitter suit, with fuchsia, what is it called? The little things that sparkle and girls wear them on their, what do they call it? There's a name. Sequence. If you had a suit like that's a very specific suit, and another man came on your chain, and he also had a similar outfit of the same exact color, sequence, glitter, you would notice him though. Maybe you don't know him, but you would notice him there.
You might, but to reverse that theory, like let's say I wanted to get, community adoption for my thing, and the guy who launched the chain had like a bright orange sequence suit. I might go buy a bright orange sequence suit and be like, hey, I'm like that guy. We got the same suit, even though I'm like only 5'2".
Absolutely
right?
agree with you. But what I'm saying is, knowing the RH that I knew from 2021, I feel like he would have said something because he was calling out everybody. And this is his fucking chain. He's not talking about Celsius 2.0. This is his fucking chain. And we're crazy to think he doesn't notice, like, oh, this is Tropa. It's all over the chain. This guy's minting. He can steal your money. Oh, and his thing, RH's thing was always like, hey, I want to protect you guys. I'm trying to stop you from getting scammed. Just listen to me. That's one of the reasons I came over, because I remembered his record from 2020, and he's right. I was caught up in the Celsius shit. I fucking know, dude. That brought me over here.
Yeah.
That brought me over here. And it was really cruel when people were mean to me about it, because I was like, dude, he's one of the reasons I came here, because he fucking nailed that shit. He called it. And you're telling me on his chain, there's a scammer, and he doesn't notice it. A scammer who's in orange sequence suits and outlandish and he's not like under the radar guy. This guy's,
I'm with you, but look at the recent pDAI drama and how he dealt with that. Like he stayed silent for a long time, right? And people played the clip over and over again of like, don't the risk matrix of talking about scams versus not talking about them. And then he broke and started talking about it. Now, obviously, and then, then people picked it up as like, oh, he's talking about it. It must be good no matter what.
Yeah.
Right. Even though he's saying it's bad, it's good because he's talking about it. Like it's, maybe he made a mistake there in going back on what he had previously said about don't talk about scams. I don't so much believe there's a scam there as an exploit, but right. For him not to talk about Atropa follows that same line.
But if this guy was a bad actor, which is really what this comes down to, whether one coin or didn't work, the fact that we're coming to is this guy's not a good actor. That's what a camp is saying at this point, because that's a big part of it. If he's a good actor.
He's not a good actor now, but was he not a good actor before?
Okay,
right?
fair enough.
He kind of seemed like he had a hissy fit and cashed out, right? Like
sure. Yeah. Well, for me, the verdict's still out.
But before then, it was kind of fine, right? Even though it was sketchy, like to look at it, like to look at T-bill and be like, oh, you have an infinite mint button was sketchy, but like he wasn't doing what he did in the end with that feature.
Knowing RH and how he called out every fucking thing in 2021 and 2020, and he didn't mention in a tweet like, hey, there's this thing that has an infinite mint bug, and in speaking in his language, he'd say something like, maybe it's not such a good idea to buy tokens with infinite mint bugs. Like he never said anything.
Indeed, yeah, he does say stuff like that without even naming the token. He could have that conversation, but was he really aware, right, of that? Like, like think of what we knew about that ecosystem and how like shadowed it was and difficult to understand what was going on, and then think, did he actually spend the time to look into that, right?
Fair enough. Hey, I got to do the super chat. Retro Neon, I'm so sorry. We were caught up in deep conversations tonight. I think because it was the second one I didn't notice you sent too. He says, thanks so much, by the way, and apologize for that. He says, my parents had to pay back their COVID stimulus check money to the Fed. They wouldn't take a CBC check. Funny enough, I never had to pay back mine. They took the stimulus money back. They had to pay it back, huh? Damn, that's heavy, man. Thank you so much for that super chat, Retro Neon. Yeah, man. Last administration was, well, we don't trust governments, man. That's the bottom line. We don't trust them. They never have our best interest, do they? In mind.
So much.
Grandpa Pulse says, Maria sold a fraction of his pDAI. Just enough to cause panic.
We did that.
Okay. That's true. That's true.
That doesn't sound bullish to me. I feel better about it if he sold home.
Just enough to cause panic. It's a cool website on the Teddy. So the new one is called Teddy Pups. I'm assuming it's made by B Roots or someone they know or their team. I don't know exactly who made it, but the fact that they're trusting it and promoting it tells me they must be involved in it. Otherwise, it could just rug pull.
Yeah. It's got a big piece.
Yeah. So
it's a Pumped Out Tires one, I'm pretty sure.
Cool. So that's good.
Yeah. It means there's burnt liquidity, right? Like,
yeah.
Some at least.
Great. That's great. The old one is called Bear. So the new one is called Teddy. The old one is called Bear. Let's go look really quick. Wait, what's that? Do we have double music playing? What's going on? I do. Sorry. Kind of tense. The 70s glitter. Yeah, they both have a penchant for the outlandish fashion. Pepe. P Solid X. Let's look at. We need to look at Hex. That's what Hex is up to, right?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm a little traumatized. We just touched a little bit of pDAI, and I'm like, we're not going to get into it, are we? Please, no.
Yeah, let's not.
Nobody.
If Somi wants to come in, he can come in, but we're talking about something else.
Somi shows up, all of a sudden, let's go, man. No, 5 hours. Let's go. What is your top prediction?
Yeah, happy to see him to talk about anything else.
Look at that. Teddy is pumping a little bit. Let's go look at Hex, man. So Hex on Pulse. Got a juicy pump there off the bottom. We got a lot of support down here. Of course, RSI here. Let's see what the MACD on the weekly. Still rolling over a little bit. That's good. We got some good signs. We had a ton of support. Look, we're at the bottom. There's not much to TA here. If you're still wanting to pack your bags, price is half a penny-ish. Probably a good place. Now, where we had a lot of resistance above us is about 0.006 cents, and we're pumping up into that resistance right now. So you need to be aware that if we get rejected, we're going to come down, and we could chop sideways a little bit here. We need to see if we break that, 0.006 cents. I kind of have a line here at, 0.006, but it could be even a little higher than that. We need to, it's a range. It's a zone we need to pop through, right? It's not really a particular price. Let's go 0.0065-ish cents. We need to break past that. So we got some work to do. We are under a lot of resistance right now. Not much. Once again, this is a cycle time thing. Now, EHEX was one of the strongest looking things, and it turned into one of the weakest looking things. Unfortunately, just got turned into a big mess over here. Now we are showing some bullishness. I see a nice juicy amount of bullish divergence down here. Okay, but we're down there, pups. We're at 0.0015 cents. Once again, if you're DCAing, if you're accumulating, this is where you'd want to. But I can tell you this: if this thing plays out, okay, this big mess, you're looking at targets. You're going to add a zero. Okay, you're looking at 0.0005, 0.0004, and the next target is obviously 0.0008. Okay, we got a lot of support there. And in the short term, we got some bullishness, but if we come up, we may just get a retest up here, and hopefully we break through. Hopefully what we do is we break out, you know, and we do this, right? That's what we want to see. But also you got to be ready for the fact we could do this and see you later, bye-bye, and we're going to come back down to here where we've been before, right? Okay, on EHEX. But if we start to break down, this is going to play out and we're coming lower. So yeah. That's kind of where we are. And you got a bunch of resistance above us yet. Go ahead.
Do you want to see some moon math? I just sent you a tweet from the guy who made Pampy.app, and he's done some moon math for us on the sack bags and hex.
Dude, I'd love that. So guys, so your resistance above you where EHEX needs to get over is about 0.0017, okay, around that range. We need to get above that. And so let's hope we don't get rejected, because it looks bullish right now. It looks like we're about, in the short term, about to make a retest of that. Yeah, man, let's take a look. You sent it to me? Damn, there's already one.
This is definitively moon math. Like, it's not, you know, this is not exactly what this would look like. I think what he's done here is put in, like it says $274 million. I think he's calculating the sack bag at current rate.
Okay.
Or the ETH, like that Richard has. And then if it went into hex, what would happen? You can see below there.
So this is the Pampy app, and he's entered the sack bag entering. But this is the sack bag before the ETH trade, correct?
No, I think that's about the number we saw when we looked at the look into RH website.
Okay. Wow. Holy shit.
Take a look.
Holy shit.
Yeah, we got 267 million is the current RH look into RH number. So it's, that's kind of like, those are with today's numbers. If that all went into hex, and then that's what would happen to the other items because of hex pulling them up, right? So we'd end up with $1,000 ink, $20 hex, right?
Yeah.
2 cent pulse X, 1 cent pulse. Like it'd be pretty interesting.
Yeah, man. Wow. Look.
But yeah, $20 hex would make a lot of people happy.
Yeah, I do think combined we can definitely get up to $10. That was something we already talked about. I said 555 combined, but I remember Pedro had thrown out $10, and I was like, yeah, totally could get there. So that's half of that, and still, I mean, that's phenomenal,
Yeah, and half is maybe a reasonable number because you have to take into account sell pressure. I don't think this takes into account the number of people who are going to sell at $1 and all the way up, But yeah, half of that or even a quarter of that, right? Like you have $5 hex, like you made billionaires.
You think so?
Well, some people have a lot of hex.
So maybe, that's a time.
And a lot of them are locked, right? And I think the behavior you'd see when the hex price spikes like that, it's kind of counterintuitive, but like I think you'd see more people staking, not less.
It is funny. You think you'd see all of a sudden a lot of end stakes, but you're right. It could be one of those weird things where psychologically, because the way it moves, the chart, that you would see a lot of stakers suddenly too. Because then you'd all of a sudden see like, oh, it did pay off. That time did pay. That longer was better. That putting in the time, paying for the pain in the short term paid off massively in the long term, and that's what we're hoping to see. You can add sell pressure in that.
Human nature. People think it's not going to stop, right?
Yeah.
Like it's like, like now Hex is paying, 7,000% APR. Like, it's like they're going to want to keep rolling, right? Probably see more 15-year stakes rather than less.
Yeah, a lot of FOMO would kick in as well. Sweet.
Yep.
Sweet. I like this.
It's a fun tool. Like, there's more factors there, obviously, and they do have some adjustment for for people selling and stuff like that. But it's fun to dream at the very least.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, look, this is where you have to do the moon math, because one thing I can tell you that when we have drawdowns like this, we have if we even look at ETH. Somebody was posting we could go lower, of course, you don't know, but let's just look at BTC. the run up could be. Oh, we can't use BTC. It doesn't really matter. I think ETH is going to be the thing. The amount of pain that people are feeling from ETH is astronomical. Okay, because most people in crypto are like, even BTCs that say they're maxis, they're bullshit. They're all holding altcoins, waiting for like their altcoins to like 20, 30x for them, right? Because they know they're not going to get the 30x on BTC, right? So everybody's over here, man. So when this runs, it's going to be glorious. And we could do unbelievable numbers. That's why it is good to look at charts and go like, yeah, kind of shitty, we're down low, could go lower, blah, blah, blah. But then come over and realize that, look, when things get good again, sentiment changes and people get bullish and capital enters the market. A lot of capital can enter the market. And so it's important to come back here and remind yourself that, hey, even with 50% sell pressure, you might look at a $10. Hey, with 75, if 80% of the bags sell, you're still at a $4 or $5 hex, right? So just even if you put 80% sell pressure on all these things, you're looking at incredible numbers right here, right? You're looking at a $200 to $400 incentive token, right? You're looking at like, it's amazing what kind of numbers you're looking at.
Yeah.
He
said he wanted to make 1 million millionaires, so that will be the way.
Yeah, 100%. Pulse Degen, if you said certain words, YouTube AI will automatically edit it. So I see what you wrote, Pulse Degen, in my app, but YouTube won't see it. And I have nothing to do with it. It's automatically, no, dude, what are you talking about? I see you. Am I on mute? Why'd you say that, bro? No, I see what you wrote. What did you write? Oh, okay. Don't be in.
He wants you to shill some pump tires.
Oh, he wants me to shill it. Am I being ignored because I called Matt? Oh, he wants me to shill some. No, bro, it did come on YouTube. I thought YouTube might block that. I only block shit when it's really offensive, man. Like, the other day I was streaming I had like 2 girls on stream. Like, they all come at one time, right? And man, the guy, like, a lot of people were assholes, man. I couldn't believe it. And it was really tough because it was right then that ETH started dumping. Ladies are coming on the stream, and people were writing. It wasn't one person. It was a lot of guys were writing really graphic, really offensive shit. So I had to like read them, figure out how, like, do I delete? What do I click? Trying to like get rid of, mute people and stuff. So like, because the girls were seeing it. Like Anna was here and I was like, did you see that? And she's like, yeah, I saw it. And like, yeah, it was like, I felt terrible too because I couldn't delete shit fast enough. And she was having to read just offensive shit. I couldn't believe it, man.
Yeah. Don't do that, guys. It's lame. Yeah, we need more ladies in crypto, not less ladies.
Yeah, man.
Stop scaring away the girls.
Why would you guys write stuff like the girls are shy? They finally come on stream. Like, guys start saying like the dumbest, like most inoffensive shit. I had to throw out 4 or 5 people, which was a lot of work for me because I have to like, I'm listening. I'm trying to like talk and manage the shit and read who is this? Like, what the fuck? Like
you're gonna have to sweet talk those girls to get them to come back on after this.
Yeah, we actually, Crypto Princess stopped in earlier. She was here in the chat for a little bit, but she couldn't come on tonight.
Oh, good.
So it was good. It was good. I think they saw that I was working to keep that stuff. It wasn't easy though. It was not easy. But yeah, I can't tell. Sometimes YouTube just deletes stuff on its own too. But yeah, go to this bullish stuff. Check it out because it is going to happen. Remember, the reason it's going to happen is because this is all going to play out, guys. And right here, whether I don't know where we are in this right now in the bigger phase of things. I mean, obviously we're in a bull run right now, but when you break things down, everything goes through this. So you got to remember, depression turns into disbelief, which keeps you from jumping in, and then turns into hope. And next thing you know, you're in thrill and euphoria again. And then the transformation is astronomical, and it's going to happen. It is going to happen, but before it happens, it will feel like it's never going to happen. That's why you have anger and depression. My retirement money's lost. How can we pay for all this stuff? I'm an idiot. That stuff's here for a reason. It rinses and repeats constantly over and over and over again. And the reason it works is because when you're down here, it's going to feel like it's never going up again. That's what it's designed to do. You're supposed to feel like Hex is never going to make all-time highs again. You're supposed to feel like Ethereum is never going to break 4K again. That's what you're supposed to feel like. Okay, that allows whales to stock up. But really what's going to happen? Now, could Ethereum come lower? Sure, it could. Now I'm just screwing around right now. Like, yeah, it could come all the way down here. Could go all the way down here. But guess what comes after this if it did that? Okay? So you got to pay attention. Like, it may not do that. It could just literally chop and then, you know, go, whatever. My point is that you're supposed to feel like it's never going to make an all-time high again. And that's why I get really bullish on
you. Need that, right?
Yeah, you need that. You need that rinse and repeat.
You need that despair phase before you get the all-time highs.
Yeah.
Like that's played out multiple times in every cycle.
Yeah. And I think we had a bit of anger with ETH. Remember when people were like saying all that offensive shit about Vitalik and Ethereum? So I think we got out of anger. I think we're going into depression right now, okay? So we could maybe go slightly lower, but either way, we could just go sideways and people are becoming like depressed, like they're just numb to ETH now. And then we'll have a break. The reason you have to go through that phase is when you do make a higher high, people ignore it. And I hope you guys understand that. So it'll make this higher high right here, and people will say that, people will say this is a sucker's rally. You need that moment. And the only way that works is if there's an area of despair where people are like, they're despondent about the asset. You better believe people are despondent about EHEX. They're literally like, oh, God, disgusting. But at some point, it's going to get above, it'll get above one of these ranges I said was really important. I think this is red line. Wait, let me think.
Even now on ETH, people are ignoring bullish things about ETH, right? They're just not talking about them.
Yeah, yeah.
Like the SEC approved ETH ETFs for option trading, and it like barely made the news, right. Like, and that's like option trading is a big deal. Like billions of dollars flow through there. And then Vitalik released a thing. Richard actually posted about it, about, you know, adding like privacy features to ETH, right? Which is one of the things that would bring in big money. Right, like so. It's not like nothing's happening.
Right.
It's just people are now in a phase where he could do almost anything, and they would still be bearish on it.
Right.
So, but that could lead up to the boom.
So I think we're in that depression phase. They're not even angry at Vitalik anymore. So I believe we're in depression. And what'll happen is wherever this higher high is, if it's here, or whatever, if we go a little lower, whenever it happens, people will ignore it because they'll say, "Oh, this is a sucker's rally. ETH is finished." They're going to say all these things. Okay, and that will be your time to get in when you see that move. Don't think it's a sucker's rally. It's real, because then you get a lockout phase. And the lockout phase is this move here after disbelief, because it'll break down. It'll make a big move into hope. All right, so you come here, all right, and made the higher high, and it came back down, and you're like, see, I knew it. It's going to fall apart. And then it does this big lockout move and makes a big jump. And now you're like, whoa, what's going on, right? And then it prints like your little hammers, right? Your little hammers, and then pop, it's ready to go like again. And you need that phase, because otherwise, if it happened too soon, if the hope rally or if the disbelief happened too soon, it wouldn't be disbelief. You'd be like, oh, higher high, let's go, we're ready to go. But you need it to be a depression long enough where when the actual higher high comes, people ignore it. And you're going to see that happen with incentive, HEX, EHEX, Ethereum, obviously, and whatever else, right? So you need these cycles to play out. I recommend everybody sit with this for a few minutes, you know, have a beer and just stare at it, like learn it. It's constantly repeating itself on everything, constantly. That's why I say here, even Inc., where are we at with Inc? Are we depressed? We've been depressed, I think, long enough. So maybe, who knows? maybe we do get it. We'll see what happens. But you get them. You know, it's
real news changes things too, right? Like when you actually have stuff, but people might ignore it.
Right.
But like what if RH was like, okay, there's going to be single-sided staking for Inc, right? Like what would that do to the price? Or like Inc is the DAO token, guys, get some Inc, right? Like that would change the math dramatically.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes the way that times out with good news is it ends up working out with disbelief rally. So the good news will come, it'll pump a little bit, and people will be like, we've heard this 1,000 times, right? Because like you were saying earlier, there's been bullish news, but it's just been ignored, right? Well, one of them will pump a little bit to a higher high, and people will still go, that'll be your disbelief rally. That'll be that one. But really, then after that, more bullish news comes. But this time it keeps going up, right? So get ready for all that stuff, man. Good things are coming, man. Good things are coming. Even if we got squirrely stuff, let's look for that, you know, what game they're playing. Maybe the CBDCs, we have to wait for them. Maybe not. Like I said, nobody knows. The best people are turned around and upside down, and they've done it this way. Trump is smart. He's gaming everybody. You know, the Fed's gaming it. They're gaming it. The banks are playing it. The hedge funds, everyone's doing it. And you got to just position yourself for volatility and just be ready that we don't know. Don't be too certain. And if somebody tells you it's going to go like this, and it does, they just got lucky. Trust me, nobody knows. And I've talked to some smart people this week who trade professionally on Wall Street. And like everyone's like, wow, this is incredible. Trump, they're moving the market 10% on Trump's tweets. The fucking stock market, which is trillions, is moving like an altcoin. Just put it in perspective for yourself. Like look at the SPX chart, and then it's amazing what's going on. So enjoy it, because it also means there's going to be some crazy boom upsides coming, like big time for crypto, big time. If the fucking spider is moving like an altcoin, when it pumps, what do you think our altcoins are going to look? They're just going to be amazing, dude. It's going to be incredible. Yeah, good times coming. Good fucking times coming. I love it. But Pups, we've been going for One Pulse. Yo, I think we're gonna wrap up pretty soon, man. We're going a little over 3 hours here.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
We haven't done that for a while.
We haven't done that for a while.
Get back on the horse.
Gotta get back on the horse, man. Good seeing you fast. And
You too, man.
remember the bullish stuff, man. There's good stuff coming. Really, really good stuff coming. Goldie, what was he talking about? Everybody smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, do it now. This has been an epic stream, a lot of great alpha. Don't even think about it, just smash the like button. Smash it. If enough people smash it, I'll take Fast Abdoul off the screen.
Minimum 10,000, and I'm out of here.
Let's go, Pups. And once again, thank you so much for those super chats, Retro, Neon. I really appreciated those. Look at those. Look at those likes coming in. Oh, you guys almost. Some good likes came in, but not enough to get rid of Fast Abdoul. Sorry about that. He is still there. You guys, we had no.
I'll be here next time until you guys press the likes. So I'm just going to keep showing up.
I'm going to just go to bed, leave him on stream until you guys hit enough likes. Just leave him here.
That could work poorly for your reputation. You never know what I might do.
Very true. Nah, but you guys are absolutely amazing. I wanted to take a little time off, but I miss you guys too much. Smash that likes. Subscribe to the channel. Go follow Fast Abdoul. He's doing a lot of amazing work for our ecosystem and for Inc. Inc. specifically, the art of the deal.
Yep.
Thanks.
He's one of the focuses.
You guys are awesome. Well, everybody, have a good night. See you. Until next time.